But my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest. I'm gonna launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, no stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb.
What is up, people? So, it's gonna be a fun one. I wanted to talk about what the fuck are we doing here? That's what I want to talk about. Because yesterday we had a nice conversation. The day before that was even better when I had Red rage quit due to me being honest with the fact that he gets triggered way too easily. Actually, gets triggered faster than me, which is amazing. But that's here nor there. I'm going to get that link out there. What's up? Who's here? What's up, Sean Hawkins? What's up, Kurt? Mind and Manny, how you doing, sir? Not really sure what you were saying a second ago when you said don't fall into it. Mackenzie, how you doing? What's up, Vinny? What's up, Barefoot? What's up, Farmers? Sky? Phil? What's up, Tesla's Apple? How you doing, man? Who else is here? What's up, Skyfly? And I think that is it for now. If I didn't say it. What's up, Pete? And Ali B's here. What's up, Ali? Good to see you, man. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty. What's up, Rob? What's up, Mr. P? Let's see here. All right, cool. So, like I said, I wanted to get into this whole idea of what the motivations, I guess you would say, of these panels and live streams and this whole thought pattern. And it goes both sides. Both ways, Flat Earth and Globe. We both need to start answering some questions, right? When it comes down for the Globe, I'll start on that side. It comes down for the Globe. Obviously, we're honestly trying to get this information out, trying to have a better understanding of where we live, and what stops honest conversation is the disrespect of it, right? So if you're going to be disrespectful, do you really expect someone to even hear what you're saying? If you're going to be disrespectful and get real personal about it, then at that point the whole conversation is done, isn't it? Go to the Flat Earth side, and 2 years ago you could have 2 years ago Flat Earth had an argument. Why are you guys being so disrespectful? Blah, this, blah, 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 right? But now you see it, Flat Earth is just as fucking bad as some of these Globers now on the troll scale. But hey, does anyone expect to get anywhere with that? Does anyone expect, real shit, how many times does a grown man walk up to you and called you a fucking idiot and then you sat and listened to him? Never happens. And that goes both ways again. Flat Earth, one of the biggest issues you guys have right now is these fucking trolls. And not trolls in the sense of, these snipers and porn bombers. No. I mean trolls as in these guys that either have no clue what they're saying, but they want to, tell you exactly how it is and what's not. And then you also have these flat earthers that purposely derail conversations. And then you have ones that are just pure snake oil salesmen feeding bullshit because they entertained by the fact that they can. Overall, flat Earth is just a big misunderstanding. Think about it. Everyone here who's found flat Earth found it here on YouTube. Did you, and I've heard this, people say this too, did you even question flat Earth, the Earth shape, and believe it was flat before YouTube? No, you may have questioned the shape of the Earth prior to YouTube. Absolutely. But, again, did you think it was flat, though? You guys say we had 1,000 years of get all this information to make up this globe lie. But if that were the case, what is flat Earth backed with? I guarantee you, there's not one flat earther who can tell me a reason for why they believe it's flat, a source prior to Eric Dubay, Matt Powerland, and Mark Sargent. Again, please try. And again, another big issue with the globe side. There's millions of these people. Millions. Actually, I think there's been the billions now, right? But we have a situation of I know what I'm talking about, period, fact, and not knowing. And you don't have to know anything. Again, you can have opinions. You can give your idea and assessments on how shit works. But at the same time, you got to be honest that if someone corrects you, you got to be honest about being correct. The correction. You want people to tell you how you're wrong and explain it. But is that what really happens? It's like, to me personally, what I'm seeing is people who want to give information out about the globe, people who believe it's flat and are trying to figure it out and are, jumping on these discussions to get other opinions and weigh options and whatnot. But overall, the globe side, or let me back up a little bit. The globe side, there are people that are trying to understand and learn things like myself. And yeah, I try to, give my opinion about something and believe it to be true. But sometimes I'm wrong. Go back in my archives, guarantee you'll hear me say, oh shit, I was wrong about this, I was wrong about that. I will correct myself in a heartbeat. Why? I want to put out good information. I want to know the correct information. Now, shouldn't everyone, both sides, feel that way? Because both sides are wrong about a lot of shit all the time. All the fucking time. Shouldn't the globe side correct people that are wrong on the globe side? Shouldn't flat earthers correct the flat earthers that are wrong on the other side? Not very much of that happening these days. Maybe that's why this quote unquote progression for either side is going nowhere. My favorite part is when the globers go, flat earthers are fucking morons, they're dumb. Dude, we're here doing the same fucking thing. We're talking to them. If no glober talked to flat earthers, they would go on their merry way thinking it's flat, and none of this would be happening. But at the same time, we're here every day. Same people talking the same shit, discussing the same things they believe to be true. And yeah, we can't go to space right this second. I can't. But at the same time, it has nothing to do with the facts of the matter. The shape of the earth is there. It's already the shape. No one here is going to change that. No one here is going to convince anyone of anything and it be correct unless, they're correct. Just the way it is. And again, I'll say this one last time. Flat Earth and globe both have the same issues. Both have the same problems of progression. But at the very, very same time, aren't we, who's here honestly, to end the discussion. When I say end the discussion, I mean solve this problem. If there was a way, an actual way of showing the shape of the Earth and the masses to believe it, flat Earth and globe, what would it be? How do you convince someone who believes in a shape of the Earth with no evidence, with the riding on the idea that all science lies, or they're lying to us, but yet then evidence and the information provided all adds up, can be observed over and over again, predicted, whereas in flat Earth is based on they lie. Well, we know the governments lie. We know over the years, or better yet, the best term ever to explain that is the history is told by the winners. Does that mean all history is a lie? No. Does it mean there's some shit that probably isn't exactly as is? Yes. But the shape of the Earth has nothing to do with our history. The shape of the Earth was the shape of the Earth before we started talking about this. Okay, so I'm going to do my rant. I'm going to go ahead and open up the panel. Again, you guys, you know how I roll. Open topic, open discussion. I would like to talk about the progression of both sides and what we're here for to do, or here, why we're here to either explain completely in full how flat Earth is not possible, or if you're here to believe that, it is flat and you're just trying to figure it out, or you believe it's flat just because. We'll see. So I'm using the Meets Hangout, so bear with me if I'm a little slow on that because I'm still learning. And but I'm gonna get all these I'm gonna get everything set up tonight. I've already decided after the stream I'm gonna not do anything else besides just focus on the Meet Hangouts and try to figure out how everything works perfectly. Get that screen up. All right, there we go. Oh, what's up, Dean? Let me show. If I can get a good trend. Let me know if it's a good one, Dean. Luma, right? This other one. I don't even think I have the other one up. Oh well. You're out of show. Look. What's up? Let me get farmers in here. What's up, sir? What's up, Sean? Damn. I gotta figure out a way to get this doorbell to stop. Earlier. Oh, Sean Hawkins. What happened? Uh oh, the Facebook issue. Yeah, that happens. Hey guys. No over talking. Please. Thank you. So yeah, Sean, so where's that at? Or is that the information's in the link you said? Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, go ahead, Sean. Hang on, I'm trying to hear. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to hear what Farmer was talking about, and then what Sean was saying. Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. Yeah. I'm guessing, Sean, was it your advanced audio settings on there? Uh, I think he's other way. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. No, no, no. Guys, there you go. Hey, hey, Sean. Perfect. Okay, so here we go. Here's my question. And I'm going to go, Pete, because you like to talk. I'm going to ask you first. Where do you see this flat earth discussion going? And why, and as an issue, why has it not progressed? Oh, no, don't worry. Don't worry. Hey, I asked this question. Everyone gets 3 minutes, just so you guys know. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. No one's supposed to interrupt, but really, Pete. Uh, that was slick. I'll give you that one. You're good, Ali.
It's about the individual here. You're always being challenged, so make sure you move onwards and make progress in your
Hey,
own.
Sean.
Yeah, I got it fixed. I fixed it. I fixed it.
You got her?
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
I'm done there. I'm done. Cheers. Yeah.
Okay, it was. I don't even know. Okay, Pete, you're gonna do it again, but after some people, because no one heard you.
That's cool.
I
But
fucked
Sean,
up. That was my bad.
is this the new Google Hangout now? This setup here.
Yes, it's oh it is far and above better than Google.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's
Excellent.
it's what is it? It's like
You've
Google.
got more control over it, haven't you?
I don't think so. I don't feel like I do,
No?
but well, I don't feel like I do, but that's more during this. But as in settings by
Right.
far it has insane more. So I guess it'd be better. Like I said, I'm still learning this one, so I don't know all the
Yeah.
perks of it yet.
Right.
But it
Well, it's
definitely,
still Google. Yeah,
yeah.
it's still Google, and Google have been putting up notices that they're shutting down Google Hangout. It's just a matter of changing the software or whatever. You can still do your live YouTube set. That's
Oh,
excellent. So.
oh, really? Yeah. Well,
Well,
I
that's
knew I knew they were going to
there now.
transition to this, but I didn't know when they were going to do it.
Well,
All
I
right.
think it's
Well,
happening
as long
now,
as
right?
it works, and it's doing this is another tool to help us spread the word on flat Earth. Flat Earth is going amazing. A lot of closest flat earthers out there.
What's up, Jose?
Hey,
Hey, we don't hear anything on YouTube, bro. Sort your shit out.
I fixed it.
I'm at
It's
work.
fixed. It's fixed.
Hi.
It's fixed. Thank you, though. Thank you, guys. I do appreciate everyone that does try to get me to hear it, to know right away. And actually, I noticed it a little like a second before everyone started saying it. So I do apologize. I want to say, Pete, do you want to do it again, or would you rather wait?
No, I'll wait till. So no one
Okay,
heard that. Well, you heard that,
Yeah,
Sean. Anyway,
I heard it, and
okay.
again, I apologize, Pete. That was
We
my
heard
mess
it.
up. Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, it wasn't a bad.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah, when we get to Pete, just know he didn't say something like super crazy at all. It was pretty reasonable. So don't think it was different.
Start off with Earth is seriously flat, then, Sean. That'd be a good starting point.
Yes, sir.
Go. His chance to answer the question. Ask him the question again, I guess, Sean.
Yes, Earth. Again? I'll ask this. Everyone, remember this is going to be the same question. Where do you think flat Earth is? I think that was how I said it. And why do you feel like, or why hasn't it progressed? Why hasn't flat Earth progressed?
I think where it's at right now is exactly where it's supposed to be. Thanks to the heavy censoring and the change of algorithms on YouTube, it's been brutal. The attack that have been, they have hired armies to combat the flat earth. There is the most scary thing you could say in public. Flat earth, everybody freaks out. You drive everybody crazy. And it's out. The secret is out. The Pandora, somebody opened the Pandora box. And it was open for me the first time with Michael Tessarium when he was talking about that there is a dome, a Ceterian dome protecting us, and they can't get out, and they're gonna try. That's why they have to fake the moon landings. But the flat Earth in 2019 is going so strong because now we have armies of people that are closet flat earthers that are helping us in the inside, in the military, in the government. And that's why we're resisting the 5G because of flat earthers. We're waking up. They're trying to kill us. This is war, brother. And we're facing the devil one on one right here. Flat earthers are courageous people and they are soldiers and usually they're vigilantes and we're facing any of you guys and we're winning this war without shooting a single bullet but with love and knowledge. Let's unite and test the glove tomorrow. I left uh, the
That's
link.
beautiful, man. That's a beautiful
Yeah.
answer.
Okay. So, guys,
Yeah, that was great.
I'm gonna lower the amount of time. It's gonna be about a minute and a half. I just realized that. Damn, 3 minutes is a little too long for that. But thank you, Earth is seriously flat. It was riveting. Albie, you want, or Albie? What the fuck, Ali? My bad. Did you want to? Jeez, I don't know what the hell that was. Did you want to chime in on that one?
Well, I do actually. You mentioned that there's no progress happening, but the amount of things that ball earthers have changed, or we've got them to agree. You know, when we first came out with it, right? We used to say, "Oh, it's flat, it's observably flat," and they were all denying it. But now they say, "Oh, yes, of course, it's observably flat, but it doesn't mean it's flat," and that's just one thing that they've just changed their minds on. We've got loads of others. We're actually just what Earth is seriously flat said. We're killing it. We're vigilantes. We're here to save the world from evil. There you go, Sean. How's that?
But the kill with love, Ali.
Perfect.
Kill with love at the end was an excellent touch, right?
Yeah.
Well. So just so everyone realizes, what I want to do is I want to ask all the flat earthers that are on the panel, and then once it goes to the globe, kind of reverse the flat Earth progression to globe progression, I guess you would say. So if I do get to you as a glober, let's just explain it globe-wise,
Sean,
and why flat Earth hasn't gone far, in your opinion.
So Sean, let me sort of, and I'll do it in about 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
So because I wasn't heard at the start, let me sum up everything or my thoughts on it, and you'll be able to relate to it as well, Sean. So you're in the army, and you go through the regime, and you have your drill sergeant who's an utter bollocks. It's only after you come out the end of it that you realize the role that he was playing, and ultimately all along you were the one that was mistaken because you hadn't a greater picture in mind. And now you're most sort of I was never in the army, by the way, but it's just an analogy. Now you're most embracing of the experience you've been through. I think this is what we're all about here, and this is why everything is absolutely progressing as Earth is seriously flat has said, as is planned, on course. So we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. I appreciate that. Who else? Anybody want to step up and Manny, do you want to chime in, or are you kind of busy at the moment? If not, I'll move on. Farmers?
Yeah, from sort of the glober's point of view, it does the whole flat earth argument does seem to have stagnated a bit from our point of view, I think, because they're not flat earthers, they're globe deniers. That's what they seem to be going out of their way to do. They're not saying, look, here's good, hard, solid evidence of a flat earth, because, well, we know why they can't present that, because there isn't any. I mean, at the end of the day, the earth is a ball turning around on its axis, turning around the sun in space. And we know all this because we actually have people up there in low Earth orbit on the ISS taking lots of photos. We have satellites taking photos. We have satellites sending images and data down to us. I mean, Christ, I was using GPS today. I had to make a little road trip right across England into Wales, into Cardiff and back again, all done via GPS.
All right, 1 second. Can I just
Hang on, hang on. No.
Oh,
Nope,
sorry.
nope.
Yeah,
30
sorry.
seconds.
Okay,
You still got 30
sorry.
seconds.
Yeah, it's globe denial. Nobody's actually coming out and saying, look, here, we think there's a dome, but we don't have any evidence of it. We think the Earth is flat, but we don't have any evidence of it. We think this, that, and the other, but we don't have any evidence of it. All they're saying is, no, you're wrong, and
All right.
hello. What's that? Cannabis.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Let me get to fucking Dean real quick, Allie, and then you can chime in.
Is this in real time?
What?
And in 4K?
Yeah, it's a special 4K. Very, very special. So,
oh yes.
When Farmers Boy used the word "we," just a quick sentence there. We is all of us as well, right? So we're all part of the human race. So when you say "we," you're obviously not representing we.
You, no.
Okay.
No, we, not you.
Or flat earthers, or flat earth. That's my point. Flat earthers. This
Yes,
is why we're having this
when I
debate.
say we,
Because
that doesn't mean flat earthers.
So you're denying that you're a member of the human race, then, obviously.
No. Of course I'm
Well, when
not.
you say we, well, flat earthers are humans.
Yeah, but I wasn't talking about humans. I was talking about people who think
No,
the
but
Earth
you
is
said
flat,
we.
and people think we as
But
in
you said the we, the royal we.
yeah. Well, clearly it was the royal.
We are not amused.
okay, hang on.
No,
We are not
Guys,
amused.
you know exactly what I was on about.
I
So
know.
don't start that old nonsense.
let me
I
get
tell
to
you, when Ali B is on form, there's no beating him. Right? But sorry,
let me get
Sean,
to
after
You
you.
reckon?
no worries. Let me get to Dean, because if he gets not able to talk for too long, he starts crying and stuff. So go ahead, Dean.
Well, he's a pussy.
You leave Dean alone.
Yes, I've had my emotional outburst for today. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, did I
heard
miss
that.
it? Wait.
Yeah.
Before you start, what the fuck happened?
Well, last night, on the post-show hangout, Al K was recording this, and I got Chris Berry to admit two very specific things. Well, something twice. That a straight line on a photograph, straight line on an image, if you compress it either horizontally or vertically, that it won't be a straight line anymore. I got him to admit that twice.
Mm.
And then today in Jose's show, he called me up on it publicly, betting his channel.
What?
Yep.
Now,
Fuck yeah.
Yes, he did.
Now-
I heard all that.
now, here's the thing though.
Now the shit's hit the fan.
Yeah,
What are you betting, Dean?
His channel.
I raised it. I raised it in the form that we would never be able to create another channel on YouTube ever again.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, unfortunately, mathematically, geometrically, and every which way, a straight line, as in 2 points and a single vector, it doesn't actually matter which way you scale it. If you scale it in a single vector, it will always be a straight line. And
Yes,
I've known
sir.
this for about 16 years. However, halfway through the explanation, I could hear it in Chris's voice, and he kind of sort of like gave up and realized that he wasn't going to win, so I did let him off. I wasn't going to, but of all people that reminded me that it's not fair to destroy someone's channel just because they made a mistake, Rumpus was the person.
Did he admit to the mistake?
I didn't. I wasn't bothered about that. I could tell it in his voice, and later on he said, he shouldn't have made those claims in
Oh no, that's good. Hey, that's
fine,
chill.
Dean.
No,
We
yeah,
won't
that's
go with it.
that's perfectly chill in the sense, because I see, that's the thing about Chris. It's weird because it's almost like he's purposely being dishonest, but it's not. Because when he does something correctly, like that shadow on the cloud test, when he did the third one, it didn't help him at all, but it was honest at least. So there is integrity there.
Yeah.
No,
Sean, hang on,
Sean.
Sean, hang on.
Wait a minute, Pete. I haven't done
let's
yet.
hear the point of contention, Dean.
No,
So,
I haven't.
Sean, I haven't
wait a
heard
minute.
it. Have you heard the point of contention, Dean? Or Sean? Have you heard the point of contention here?
The point of contention is
Well,
simply.
Yeah, go on.
The point of contention is simply summarized as a straight line in an image will always be a straight line if you have a single vector scaling operation on it. It will be nothing other than that.
But hang on,
can't
hang on. What
change.
do you mean by that? A single vector scaling operation? What do you mean
Right.
by that?
So pick one direction and it scales in that direction. Doesn't matter which direction. Normally, if you scale an image, it's either left, right, or it's top,
or up,
down. But it wouldn't matter. You could do it diagonal. You could do it any degrees you want, as long as it was one direction.
What about curvy? What about curve?
He's
Dean?
Pete. What he's
curve?
saying? Yeah, what he's saying,
You
Pete,
get a
is
curve.
no matter how you compress a straight line in any direction, it's going to be a straight line. It doesn't change it.
Is this got to do with the compression of an image showing curvature, Red's rhetoric,
Yes.
showing that sort of thing?
Yes.
Is that? Oh, okay. I'll have to consider that now. And
Yeah.
Chris made the case that he would bet his channel that in every single case you will get curvature, even though there's none.
Now the problem was this. I think because what you have a lot of emotion in this kind of setting sometimes. So if you hear a straight line and scale, and it will always be a straight line, your mind is probably rushing to the horizon and saying, well, that's not the case, or rushing to a flat surface that you've seen someone scale and you've seen that it's not been straight and it bends. So your mind's rushing to that. And your mind's rushing to all this reality where in reality, you don't actually perceive straight lines very well. A door does not have any straight lines on it whatsoever. And you can demonstrate this by scaling it. And that's what Chris did in the channel as well, saying, look at this.
Do. I make a door.
What do you mean by that
damn
now?
straight.
Come on, Dean. What do you mean by that? Come on. Is there no such straight lines? Can we create straight lines then?
You could create near straight lines that are imperceivable in a camera, whereby when you do scale them, they stay straight. I've got an engineer's ruler, metal ruler, which is a straight line.
So how would you determine?
Wait, hang on, guys. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, Dean, can you kind of clarify on the whole almost perfect straight line? I don't understand.
Okay, so sorry. So we cannot engineer something that we could absolutely classify in reality as a perfect straight line.
Is that the whole perfect circle shit too?
It's perfect any fucking shape. It's perfect surface.
Okay.
It's always, whether even at an atomic level or even at a micron variance level,
like a Planck.
There's going to be a difference there. Now, an engineering ruler that I've got next to, well, actually, I forgot to ask my girlfriend for it, but she's got a meter long engineering steel ruler.
What's your girlfriend's name, Dean?
Bobby. Now, the Bobby has got this ruler, and I've said, I should have said to her, get me it. Now, if I take a photo of it, it is so straight, the variance will not be any pixel difference, but it might be 3 microns difference, on variation across it, but that will not show up in an image. Oh yeah, like the ruler there that Sean's got.
That's it. Okay, they tend to be about as straight as you can get.
Yeah. Now there might be
That's not a meter.
Yeah.
That's not a meter.
No. It doesn't matter about length, but it doesn't matter whether there's like
I
a
don't
20.
know.
Wait a minute. Listen, it doesn't matter whether there's a 20 micron difference in that ruler. No matter how you photograph it, it's going to sit on a line of pixels, and it doesn't matter how you compress it, you're not going to change that. So the point of this straight line was, I said to Chris, look, I'll draw a straight line right now, and it doesn't matter which way I scale it, it's always going to be a straight line, because that's the idea of it. It's straight, and there's no form of maths or geometric alterations that you can do to make it anything other if you're doing it in a single vector sense.
There's a straight line.
Why do you say?
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Alex.
Does a straight line have a surface? Does a straight line have a surface?
But hang on, Ali. Before you answer that, Dean, are you not talking about Chris's proposition that the sun travels in straight lines? Is this
no. This was simpler than that, Pete. This was, if I've got a straight line and I scale it in either left to right, up or down, will it always be a straight line? And he said no. And then later on, I asked him it again because I thought, I'm pretty sure he must have misheard me. And then he said, no. And I said, Chris, that's ridiculous. And then he pulled me up on Jose's show betting his channel. And then I said, yeah, we'll go all in and we'll never be able to create another channel again.
Well, that's fair enough. And if Chris comes out and says, well, look, I understand. I'm glad I didn't bet my channel on that. I wouldn't bet my channel on anything. Well, I would actually. But if Chris comes out and says that, that's fine.
Well, no. It's like I say, his interpretation of what was being said is a mistake. And you don't have to hold someone to the fire for a mistake.
Very nice of you.
Well, it's
No,
not
no, no.
nice. It's
No,
just,
no,
what
it's-
you do, and I'd expect.
Yeah,
I'd
but
expect
anyway,
the same.
back to my question. Back to my question. Now Pete's had his answer. Back to
Sorry,
my
Ali.
question.
Off you go, Ali. Yeah.
No, no worries, Pete. No worries, Pete. You're doing a great job yourself.
And you sound on great form tonight, Ali. I swear to God, when you were on good form, man, there's no one can take you down. So off you go, Ali.
Oh, I think you're drunk or
No, I
delusional.
fucking said that to you before, man. I definitely said
You've
that.
called me an agent as well, but anyway, that's
My
not
God.
Welcome to the Pete and Ali show.
Right, Dean. Does a straight line have a surface then?
No.
Right, so why
What?
did you say surface?
Wait. Why doesn't a straight line have a surface?
Wait a minute. No. It depends. If you're just talking about the mathematical idea of a straight line, then no, it has an edge. If you're on about a rasterized version of a straight line, yes, you can class it as a surface because it would have to be rasterized on an image.
What's
I'm
that,
so confused, right?
rasterized?
Yeah, what is that?
What's that?
So rasterized is taking. Oh fuck! How do I explain this? It's taking it's taking parametric math and converting it into explicit form. So an example of this is
Do you know how to say that in a layman's term?
Pixelization.
Thank you.
Yeah, pixelization.
Averaging out where a pixel is based on it. You can't place it into a smaller area because your resolution is bigger.
Okay.
No. So here's a brilliant. So it's a difference between what it is the most common form is a font that you're typing with on your computer is an unrasterized mathematical representation of typeface, which means
you're a silly font. Get fucking.
Okay, Pete. Which means
on point, Pete. That was on point.
Which means that it doesn't matter how big you make that letter, it's always going to look fucking perfectly fine. Now, if you save that to an image, it can't save that vector form, that mathematical representation, to an image. It has to convert it to a bitmap, as in pixels, and that's the process of rasterization. But anyway,
what the fuck is Dean talking about? Sean?
No. Yeah, I'm about to hang on. So, Dean, is that why? I got
asked this shit. Jesus.
Is that why? No. Guys. Yeah, mind of God.
I don't want to talk about this.
Stop. Mind of God.
We don't want you
to stop
either.
No. Shut up.
Oh, shout out, mind of God.
We're about to have a mind of God. I'm gonna ask Dean this, and then me and you are gonna have a conversation. Dean, is that why images don't look the same, or some look clearer than the others on different type of screens?
No. That's just pixel interpolation and size differentiation on it. Rasterization is when you're converting mathematical forms to bitmaps. So when you're looking at an image, they're already bitmaps.
So this is.
Can I answer the original question?
No. So this is the comparison. The comparison in data. This is the You're talking about the.
Sean's on form.
You're talking about the comparison. So you're talking about the comparison in data. You're talking about the comparison in data interpreted between at any point, right? When you can't match them up to each other.
If I have a circle, I can represent that in a mathematical form, given a radius and a 360 arc.
Yes.
Now that can have an infinite amount of resolution because I can scale it and it will never lose curvature. Now, the second I rasterize it, I'm telling that line to be converted into pixels, which means now when I scale it, it's pixelated. It's just simply that.
Okay, yeah. I get it now. I get it.
But can I? But
I don't get it. Shut up, Dean. I don't get it, but I kind of see what you're saying. Now, Dean. Okay. Wait.
My explanation was better.
Much better. Now, Dean. Now you can go.
Okay, so the flat.
Oh yeah, and you have 1 minute.
I'm wasting all my time with people asking questions. Right, so the flat Earth is interesting because in 2017, around December, was the highest hit rate on Google search term for flat Earth. Since then, to today's date, it's dropped 30%. So it's now only 2/3 what it was back then. So no, flat Earth is not gaining traction, and Google is a fantastic fucking way to figure this out.
But didn't you just get that? Hang on. Didn't you just
all of those numbers?
Yeah. Hang on. Dean, didn't you just
change the algorithm?
Dean,
I lost about 50,000 subs.
Shut up, Earth. Dean, didn't you just get done explaining to us how data is perceived itself, and it's not the same?
No. This is historical search terms.
Reality is transmogrified, right, Dean?
Earth, unmute yourself when you're ready.
This is historical search terms, not how many results you can find by searching for it. It's people who've actually typed it in the search bar and hit search.
But wait, can't Google manipulate that?
Well, yeah, but they have oversight committees that don't allow them to do that. By the
Wait.
Oh my God, man.
Wait.
The Bill Clinton oversight. The Bill
Sean,
Clinton
sort him out, Sean.
oversight committee.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna let you know now. Like Pete, or not Pete, damn. Pete, turn your fucking camera off so I stop seeing you every time you talk. Dean, for someone.
Oh Jesus!
I'd rather look at Pete. I would rather look at Pete than Sean Hawkins. So.
Well, Sean's
nice. Sean,
anyway,
it's true though. But
no. The point is, can they? The answer is yes. Do they? I don't know. Do you have any evidence of that?
You can't beat.
Say it again.
I said, can.
Question by Dean there.
I said,
right?
can someone? I am asking myself the question: could someone manipulate this data? And the answer is yes.
Okay. Can a company do that?
Well, no, an individual person could.
No. But can a company have the individuals that do it or do their their IT stuff? Can't they have them do it? Because you do know because you do know Google, Apple. I know there are others. They have what do you call the things they make them sign? The hush stuff, the gag order, the
non-disclosure agreement. Sean.
Thank you. They're not allowed to talk about stuff that goes on in that building. You understand that, right, Dean?
I do indeed.
So therefore, you can't say that's not possible.
Wait a minute. About 5 minutes ago, I actually said, could they do it? Yes. Which means
I didn't hear you. Okay, my bad. I didn't hear you.
However,
wait. I didn't. Hang on, Dean. I didn't ask that question 5 minutes ago, Dean.
Yes, Sean. Where's your effects, Sean? That you promised.
I haven't transitioned.
Dean doesn't want to look into the possible con artistry going on here himself. He wants you to provide some evidence for him to
Dean,
maybe believe the case.
I haven't transitioned yet.
But I have.
Okay. We'll wait for it.
Watch, everyone's gonna stare at the screen the whole time just so I don't make Dean happy.
You're good, Sean. Why don't you carry on with a good heart?
1 minute, Pete. I heard a conversation on Jose's, I think it was today, about protractors not being able to be used on a globe. And this guy said, oh, yes, it can. It works in a circle. But the globe's not a circle, right? I thought it was an oblate spheroid or a prolate spheroid or a geoid.
Wait.
So,
this is
hang on, guys.
Question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sphinctoid.
Yep, thank you. So how can you have a mathematical equation for a circle or the Earth when it's not a perfect circle?
Do you know how?
How can you actually have a, like a?
I know, we heard you.
Yeah. All right, easy, boy, easy. And there's the thing I quickly, because I was going to say this to you before, Dean. Right.
Hang on,
do you know what I told you? I told you before. I showed you something before, right? Now, thank you. That didn't seem to have any. Well, it didn't seem to have any effect on your. What do you call it?
God! Don't
investigation.
No.
And I'm not going to. Don't worry.
Aristarchus.
Wait a minute.
No, it's not.
One second, please.
It's not the thing that pissed me off and upset me, is it?
Okay, now let Ali finish.
Yeah, but listen, let me finish. Let me finish. So I just want to ask, Dean. So has your skepticism towards your reality changed in any way at all? Because what I showed you.
No, because I always knew that human beings are wicked, stupid motherfuckers.
Yeah, all right.
That
Let's drop it anyway. We don't need to talk. Okay, fair enough.
I resent that. I'm a human being. I'm not a wicked, stupid, evil motherfucker. Come on.
Okay, hang on, guys, stop. Everyone, stop. I'm gonna need a favor. Need everyone to mute themselves, except Mind of God.
Yeah, how you doing, Chirac? Good stuff.
Trouble.
All right. Thank you guys. So, my God. I feel no. I'm gonna go ahead and talk right now. I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, that I have given you nothing but respect.
Indirectly, some ways disrespect, but yeah, directly for the most part, yeah, fine.
Okay, how about in the big picture of things? I may get triggered and say stuff to you, but overall, know that I have respect.
As you should, man, because I'm a truther, so it's deserved.
Okay. So you explain to me where you thought logically to bring up my stream on Team Skeptics to talk shit.
Yeah, dude, and we can talk about some other statements as well. Which
that'd be great. But I want to know right off the bat, what in your brain made you think I wouldn't say something, or I wouldn't get like I'm going to get in a second, or what you said?
I just think, dude, same thing with No Say's channel. There's could be a potential fork in the road here, and I don't want you to go down that road, because that hangout prior to me on that channel was a complete abomination. Like, everybody knew it. It was just you might as well just shut it down. It's just a complete disgrace.
Okay. Now you explain to me what about my stream has gone any way that you think is not okay.
I think that's your question earlier, where you're asking people where they see this going. If I were to answer that, and I don't want it to go this way, I honestly thought Jose's channel at the beginning was going the right way. Tests, discussion, people like George, even though I disagree with him and Metal Slugs and all that, that was a good direction. And then it just got ridiculous, where we couldn't even say Donald Trump, or we couldn't talk about anything else going on in the world. And then it ended up just being an echo chamber.
Okay. So what have I censored? How have I censored you?
No, not you. I'm just saying from what
No. Okay. How have I censored you?
No. Let me just answer the question.
How have I censored you?
No, you're not going that direction. I'm saying.
Wait. No. Hey, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Right now, mind of God.
Yeah.
You put yourself in a category that you should not be here. Here's the thing. I give respect first.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I was raised that respect isn't earned. Respect can only be taken. You must respect someone before you disrespect them or not respect them. You have to walk up to a man or a lady and you say hi, or you shake their hand. That is a form of respect. There it is. Now, at what point, and I would like you to be as specific as you can, was I disrespectful to you, or been personal? Or I guess the same thing, but yeah.
No, that's I haven't seen that.
Okay, so then what in your mind, and I know you said you wanted to answer something else, but in your mind, what exactly made you think, hey, I'm going to talk shit about Sean's stream?
It wasn't shit. It's an observation, dude. If you see me do something on a live stream or whatever, and it's not, you don't like it, you're free to call it out and say, mind of God's talking nonsense on his stream. And that's good commentary. We need that. We need that accountability. I wasn't blaming you for it. I'm saying your panel just
No. Your exact words were, yeah, being there has reaffirmed that it is flat. Through your observations, the test shown, mind of God, you have never once shown anything of evidence here. Matter of fact, the only thing you have done here is show that you know how to word speak, but it's not very well. The problem with what you're doing, no, I'm not done yet. I'm not fucking done.
Okay.
The other problem with you is that in your mind, you think you have the upper hand on a conversation, or your information is of any kind of valid at all, to say shit. So when you're sitting on a panel and then talking about Team Skeptics, and you're talking about how things are this way, things are that way, we got these drone tests and we're doing all this, where are your tests that you've shown? Where is any evidence that you've shown? Where in your mind makes you think being here has validated fodder for you more?
No, it was just the way the discussion's going. It's degenerating. So we can't even get to reasonable tests because of the degeneration of these various channels.
So this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
When this stream is done, probably within an hour, because I have them all clipped out already anyway, I'm going to show you how often I've done these streams to try to help progression. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to show all the clips of you derailing conversations.
Yeah, do that. Sure.
So here's what it is.
Yeah.
You are the reason Flat Earth isn't progressing. You are one of the reasons on this panel. No, stop.
That's not true.
Listen, because on this panel, on this panel, and I'm speaking only for my stream and my panels. You have done shit.
Hangout. You think I was the problem? Listen to that hangout back again, dude. What was going on?
This is what's going to happen. I'm not done fucking talking. Not done. And here, now, mind of God, now you can say you're censored. Because I'm talking and you're not going to talk until I'm done. Here on my panels, you've done nothing for Flat Earth. The only thing you've done is show that you derail conversations wonderfully. What you've shown is that you're able to hear whatever you want to hear and perceive what you say to be correct in any situation. I'm not quite sure if you really don't know or if you're playing a fucking game. And if you're playing it, no, I'm not fucking done.
Who do you think has helped Flat Earth then?
So, like I said, me trying to figure out whether or not you're here as a joke or you're serious. Because if you're serious, mind of God, I don't have there's nothing here for you. There's no reason for you to be on my panel. There's no reason for you to be on my panel. Let me get this straight. Let me make it very clear for you. You either stop your fucking shit on my panels and you keep my name out your fucking mouth and stay. Or don't say another fucking word and be gone.
Wait, give me the two options again.
I'll make it for you. Mind of God, don't come on my shit anymore. Congratulations. Now the show is starting to become like Jose's. Not letting you on my fucking panels will be the best thing that I do. Let me make this clear. Let me make this clear to everyone. I don't disrespect anybody until they've done it to me. Respect is given, period. Off the start, it can be taken. Mind of God, you are a fucking fraud.
Bling. Sean, can I swear?
Absolutely.
Good. Carlos, you're a fucking tit, by the way. A fat fuck. You're an idiot. You're the most unintelligent. You must have a really low
matter of
IQ.
Fact, you guys have, everybody, for the
I'm
next.
not allowed to now.
No. For the next 1 minute, I don't care what you fucking say to anybody on this fucking panel or myself. There are no rules. There's no disrespect, respect. Get it all out right now. And here's why. Because if I hear one bit of disrespect on my panel for the rest of the stream, you're booted. And I won't even give you the fucking warning. So 1 minute, I have the timer about to go. I don't give a fuck what you say to anybody on this fucking panel. Get it out right the fuck now. Go.
Go ahead, Ali. I want to hear the rest of it.
Can I start?
Oh yeah, you guys can cut each other off. I don't give a shit. No rules. Anarchy right now. Go.
Oh,
go out.
I don't do anarchy. But anyway, Carlos,
No. I'm talking about anybody. Out of the 10 people on my panel. Yeah, there you go.
Bombarding children's websites.
Cut them off.
Day.
It doesn't matter. Hey, shut the fuck up, you stupid motherfucker. You have no clue what the fuck you're even talking about. Sean, take your camera the fuck off because you're an ugly motherfucker. You need to trim your fucking eyebrows. Carlos, you don't even know what the fuck Aristarchus is. Shut the fuck up. Ali B, you're fucking Ali, so there you go.
Sean, carry on, Peter.
Stop fucking drinking and smoking. Dean, no one gives a fuck about your fucking 4K. No one ever even uses 4K when they use fucking YouTube. So in your little fucking world, 4K is fucking shit. Not to mention, you don't even know how to use OBS, so how the fuck are you even smart?
You're a poopy head.
Sean, done. Continue bombarding children's websites with truth. If you have a fucking problem, come and tell me in my fucking face. to see if you have any fucking balls for real. All you do is dreaming of spinning balls. Well, come and dance with me, motherfucker, if you have a problem me destroying the demonic spinning ball
Rubs
deception.
the lotion in its
And we're done now.
Fucking
Now, now we're done. We're done. Now
101
listen, guys. Now,
Love to
now, as serious as I can be now. Seriously,
Back to the good
guys,
days.
listen to me.
Can I just hear the rest of Ali B's thing? Because I want to hear what he had to say about me. You guys didn't let him finish.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Ali.
Let
Ali,
him finish. We'll want to
No,
hear it.
no, it's
do that.
basically just to call you a fat fuck. That was all, and a fucking idiot.
Okay,
And
so
well,
at this point now, or
Oh,
go ahead,
that's it.
finish.
That was
Okay, we're now under the new regime of Sean. Disrespect, make it personal to somebody, gonna boot you. Period. I'm not gonna give you a warning. You may not even know you did it, but you did.
I love you, Carlos.
After that next time, we're all fucking good.
I love you, man.
Oh, feel the love.
Is that you, Ali? You say you love me? Okay.
Blimey, Hawkins, that's hell of a bomb you're lighting up there.
It's the new rules. It's the new rules. I've decided Sean's absolutely right. Yep, we should start showing people more respect.
I wish I could
spreading a bit of love into the community, and even embrace these ball earthers that, you know, even if they have a lower IQ.
I get it. Wait a minute.
Even if they do have
Wait a minute, Ali, I get it. It's opposite day, isn't it? Ali, I really love you. I really love you. I wish you all the
works for me.
life in the world.
Works for me. Hey, you're getting it. Works for me.
You're my hero.
Don Hawkins, your eyebrows are perfect.
Right, okay. Can we talk about flat Earth now? Come on, let's get down to the nitty gritty of stuff. What is your best proof for a spinning testicle?
Are your testicles spinning? I should see a doctor about that.
No, mine are not, but yours are. One of your testicles.
The one thing I know about that is,
testicles are
hey,
not
Ali,
spinning.
the best part about this is, Ali, gravity does affect your balls.
Oh.
A dark purple shade to the
it
skin
affects your
would be
voice.
a definite proof
It affects your
of spinning
voice as
balls.
well. It affects your voice as well, apparently, when they drop.
Oh.
But anyway, on to the flat Earth. Come on,
It's too long
guys.
ago.
Okay,
Come on, let's
You know what, Ali? That makes sense. Have you ever heard Nathan Thompson? His voice kind of goes high pitched sometimes.
Oh yes, he goes all squeaky, doesn't he?
Do you guys think I should do the 1 minute every show?
Yes, that was
Hell
amazing.
yes.
I love Ali calling me fat.
Yes,
That was,
yeah, no,
Just
next
to let
time,
it all out.
wait a minute, Sean. Next time, I want to go at Carlos as well. Cause
No. You guys don't. Oh yeah. Oh no. Wait, if you guys want to have a Carlos minute for every stream, but everyone gets a minute, that'd be awesome. That's different. That's awesome.
Right, so taking that away, Farmer's Boy, what is your best proof for a spinning ball?
Sunrise and sunset.
Start off by saying, I don't have proof, but I will give you the evidence.
No, because QE has now said that evidence and proof are the same thing. So it must be
but
true.
wait a minute though. We've been led to understand by ball earthers or whatever that science doesn't prove anything. Now, if science doesn't prove anything, right?
Yeah, but QE says it does. So it must
ergo.
be
but wait a minute, that's QE. Who's he? Who's that guy? What's he got?
Well,
he believes in fucking. Hey, listen, he believes in particles that jump. Well, like yous lot do, that jump in and out of existence. Fucking clowns, man. Virtual particles. You believe in that shit. And quantum physics and all that crap. That's just evolved from someone's mind that was on magic mushrooms or something. In fact, the first time that was mentioned was thousands of years ago, and it was a religious. It was part of their religion, and they actually believed. But wait a minute, they actually believed. Now, isn't it funny? Is it not funny that the exact same thing has been repeated again by scientists, educated people? They're following a religion. You guys are in a religion you don't understand. If any of you guys want to really break down, 1 second, let me finish. Honestly, I'm almost finished. Is that if you guys really want to break down and understand the shit that you've been told, go read a book called The Kabbalion. It's about the Hermetic principles. It's all about Go read.
Everybody be quiet.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there. Right, what's that got to do with sunrises and sunsets?
Sunrises does not exist, nor sunsets. It's their only.
No, they do. I've seen quite a few.
From the
No.
vanishing
I like
point.
that. Hang on. I like how you said that because realistically, no, it doesn't rise or set, but we do. It does appear to. Just the way it appears to touch
of the Earth.
Yep, just the way it appears to touch the horizon, but it doesn't.
Does it work?
It disappears beyond it.
Yeah, just remember that when you guys are giving your perspective spiels on here. That's the reality of it. We perceive things differently. That's also why our perception cannot be the only evidence.
Yep. You don't have to do experiments. You don't have to use maths. You just have to go out and look and use your eyes, and you can see the sun rising and setting due to the motion and the shape of the Earth. And that's it. And if you want, we can mention the northern and southern pole stars, but the sun's good enough for me.
If Ali comes back, I'd like it. I actually got Riley's take on my flat Earth map today, and he added something else. He said
because it's Dean, so who cares if I cut him off? But did Riley go on fucking Jose's today?
Yeah.
Riley, who said he was never coming back unless we all agreed with his bullshit.
Fucking pussy. I'm telling that guy is the biggest fucking pussy.
Sean, I told him that you called him out.
And he goes, I'm telling you right now, I'll tell you exactly what he's going to say. That shithead is a fucking science denier. Oh, he doesn't say fucking. He says something else, but he's a science denier. And I keep explaining to him how he's a science denier, and I can show him, and he refuses to come on. He refuses to have a discussion about how gravity is a force to me.
You only have to listen to him, and you know when he's triggered, because when he's triggered, he'll call you sir. And that is not something we tend to do over here in the UK. We don't call people sir. It's not as prevalent as it is over in the States.
He likes to call me dickhead because it triggers me.
Yeah, dickhead is quite a common and popular slang over here, calling somebody a dickhead.
Yeah, because at first it was good. It was a good conversation on Channel Q's. And then once I really pressed the fact that he didn't know what he was talking about, right off the bat, it was dickhead. I'm like, whoa, nope, not me. Yeah. And ever since, that's what he does. Yeah.
But there's something about sort of the English language as we speak it when it comes to swearing. I think we do it quite well. It's what they call the Anglo-Saxon. You'll get called dickhead, you'll get called wanker, arsehole, arse instead of ass. But when he gets really triggered, he'll start calling you sir. And I'm not quite sure where that might be his sort of legal education where the sir comes from.
Sir. You don't know nothing, sir.
You don't, yeah. I know it's quite prevalent with you Yanks, and particularly a lot of you have been brought up that way, or you're ex-military or something like that. Over here in the UK, it's not quite so common.
Yeah, but Cliff calls everybody sir.
Yeah, but that would be his military background, I bet.
No, but anyway, my point is, I've altered that flat map now, that flat Earth map, because Riley, I asked him, I said, how can you help me sort this moon out? Because
the moon, I saw that.
What's that?
Yeah, but I've modelled the source of
the moon is flat, brother. Please understand that.
It's not. Hang on. Dean, what are you talking about?
And you're showing a model that you
from tomorrow?
Use the first flat Earth to
or
make a model.
God damn it!
You put in
hang on.
Right,
Dean, is this something that happened this morning?
Yeah, well, after Jose's show, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I woke up late today, so I have no idea what you're talking about. So that's why I was asking.
Oh well, it's a conversation that's on my channel anyway.
Okay.
The last thing.
I saw that.
You can have a look. Yeah. But here's the interesting thing. He gave me another concept to add to it, which is what I want. I want all these concepts to add to them. And his was that the moon is not a sphere. It's a dish or a convex shape. So I now have a moon in there that is a sphere that I can switch to being a convex shape as well.
But the problem with that is us Australia wouldn't even see parts of the moon.
And no, it's still got the same problems, but it's another concept that flat earthers say. I want all the concepts in there that I can switch between to find ones that work.
Do me a favor.
Have you worked on my concept?
Is there a way?
You're going to be a hero.
Hang on, Sean. Has he worked on my concept, which I explained to him a few times? He has a good sort of awareness of it. Have you worked on that concept? Your reflections against the contoured surface.
Yeah, your concept, Pete, was one of the first ones that I did when I built that. But the way that I had it, and correct me if this, tell me if this is correct or not. I had the sun and the moon off the edge and underneath. Yeah, that's where they are. And then I had the dome over it, and then the sun and the moon were reflecting on the dome.
No, you have
the observer.
Completely wrong, man. Completely wrong.
Okay. Then you need to explain it to me.
So what have you always inputted as the sun and the moon? Have you inputted them in terms of any?
Oh wait a minute.
Hey, I gotta. You got a lot of wind in your background.
Have you inputted them
Earth.
in terms of any software inputs as solid bodies?
No. Well, they're just at the moment. I'll input whatever anybody tells me.
No, but how do you input what the sun is? I mean, a solid body would behave in a different form or a different way than, let's say, a reflection, for instance. So how would you distinguish between both?
Well, one, because I have physical reflections in there, Pete. I can generate physical reflections of bodies. Now, I can have volumes. I can have solid shapes. I can have gaseous shapes.
Is that due to the data? Like, for instance, the index of refraction. Is that are you? So your computer has that. Can you change that?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I can. Yeah. Because glass. I mean, I'll show. So another thing that Chris Berry and a few people have said is there's atmospheric lensing now, and I showed a brilliant thing. I built an atmospheric lens.
Did you build a million of them or 3 point? No, I don't know how many people there are, but you would have to.
I know. I did it with one to show that it's ludicrous because the second I move left or right, or if I move further away, it gets bigger.
Yeah, that was a problem with Rob Skiba's.
Let me ask Dean this question.
You can't tell me to hang on every time, asshole.
Dean, hang on. You've walked by a river before, right? And you've looked at a lighted target across the river, maybe a great distance away from you. You've done that, right? And do you appreciate that you can see reflections sometimes that comes almost to your feet? Have you been able to model that in terms of your computer capabilities?
My dad told me water's wet.
That's just standard reflections. I can have any reflections that I want.
So you can change. Maybe you're. See, I don't know how those models you do work. So can you make a setting so you can just switch through the same, like say the same Earth or the same sun and moon orbiting above? Can you change like the different index of refraction numbers and shit and show them?
Well, yeah, I'll show you something right now. So this atmospheric lensing thing that people claim happens. Let me share my screen and you can try your transition if you want, Sean.
Fine. I don't even have it up there yet.
Have you got the transition queued up, have we?
No, not yet. Hang on, because I didn't expect you to present anything.
Have we? Have we got it queued up? Have we?
What? Well, I can't hear you.
Have we got it queued up?
I'm not. Wait, I'm having audio problems. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Right.
Dean, you're such a diva, man.
Yeah, I know, right.
You want to have everything catered.
Right. So
I would like it to be in 4K, please.
Wait. You're not ready? Fucking Dean.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Right, so. Right, okay. Now I've got to reset the setting.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, shut up. Right, here we go.
You got that queued up and ready? You got that queued up and ready?
Yeah. Here we go. I'm going to share. In fact, I'll share a window, actually.
Jesus Christ.
Hold on.
Right, share. Here we go.
What?
Right. So, can you guys see this?
Oh, that's as flawless as it gets, Dean. You're going to be so proud.
I am watching a live stream as well.
Good. You'll be proud. You'll be proud.
Is that HMS Rumpus?
Yeah, that is Rumpus driving that.
That's Rumpus.
You're not presenting though, so there you go.
I am presenting.
Oh yeah.
I could see it.
Well, I have to present you, so wait. No, you're not.
I see it.
I can see it.
Maybe if I unpin him.
I can see it.
I can see it.
Right.
Yep. Okay, I see
so
it now.
anyway,
I know exactly what you're going to do here. You're absolutely, completely wrong, bud. But off you go.
Right. Okay. So what we got here is a lens, and it's magnifying a boat. Because in order to get the magnification, we actually need this lens, and we need to be looking through it. And you can see how small the boat is there. But looking through this huge lens, we can magnify it. This is now magnified. The problem is, when I get further away from this lens, what happens to the boat? It gets bigger. So there is no lensing effect that can magnify something, because if you don't have a perfect lens, you get all of this. Even if you're looking at the center of the lens and it's not constructed absolutely perfectly, you'll start getting anomalies that look like this.
What if the water particulates are working as independent lenses and making a more coherent picture?
Shut up, fat man. Right, so
What was that, Dean? I didn't hear you. Dean, hey, Dean, what was that? I didn't quite hear you.
Oh, I said, shut up, Batman.
Okay.
It's just an endearing
Wanna
term
say
that I
something
say
about
to.
My bad. I wasn't sure what you said.
Yeah,
That's not what
Batman.
you said.
Shut up.
I feel the love.
So,
where's the horizon line here? Where's the horizon line here, Dean?
Oh, so if we look up there, if you're looking through a lens, if you're getting close to it, it's there. This is what a lens does.
You've been putting all this. You've pretty much just drawn all this in, right? So software code.
No. I've created a lens, Pete. It's a physical lens with refraction index and proper optics. Yes.
Well, show us an example that we can relate to. In other words, show us your keys, or show us your car from the distance, that we can say, well, this is how it works, and we can appreciate how this works. It works like this.
This is exactly. Okay. This is exactly.
Magnifying glass.
Go to the store, buy a magnifying
glass.
glass.
You have a magnifying glass.
Yeah, but hang on. What is the ship doing here? This is what I'm asking him to describe the picture.
It's in the water.
It could be a fucking dodo bird. It doesn't matter what you're looking at.
Well, calm your tone. Calm your tone, big
nicely.
Just a floating.
Calm your tone. What's wrong with you? Ask Dean to clarify his position here. He's showing us a cartoon. That's what he's doing.
Well, it could be a fat Mexican eating
reality.
chips.
This is showing. This
So
is
Dean,
progress is stymied, right? Because simple questions can't be answered.
Whoa, one second.
Wait, guys.
No,
Hang on. Stop.
Are you denying atmosphere? Are you denying atmosphere causes lensing, Dean?
Define lensing in the term that you're saying it.
No, so the atmosphere.
Wait a minute. Look at this.
Sorry.
Oh, please look
okay.
Hang on, Dean.
Right, hold your. Yeah, right. But so then, right. Do you deny that atmosphere can act like a lens? That's a better way of putting it.
Correct. Yes, I absolutely deny that any natural atmospheric effects would act like a lens. A lens being a manufactured.
What about a prism? What about a prism? Do you think it could ever act like a prism?
Ali, say lensing effect. Lensing effect. That's what you want to say.
It wouldn't.
No, it's not.
Stop. Let me answer the question. You could have it distorting light and perhaps separating color as well, much like a prism would do. However, the magnitude of that effect would be massive, and it would be non-linear, and it would have a variance. So whatever was happening in that specific circumstance, you could put anything at the other side of it, and you would not see what the shit it was.
So that was a no.
How do we
that
see
was a no then. 1 second, Pete. I just want to get this. Let me finish. Let me finish it. So that was a denial that the atmosphere will act like a lens or a prism. Is that what you're saying, Mister? Mr. Rayman.
Wait a minute.
Mister, I can draw funny pictures and stuff like that.
It won't create a lens like I've got now.
Of course, because yours is fake. That's CGI, or that's something you've made up.
It actually is CGI.
Right. Yeah. CGI.
It really is.
Except, are you ready? Wait a minute, Sean. Just to answer your question.
So the point
the
is,
index. Wait a minute. Stop. Listen, Ali. This is how ridiculously made up this is. Sean, the index of refraction here is now 1. The index refraction of water is 1.33, which is this. The index refraction of glass is 1.5, which is this. I have complete control over index of refraction, scatter
What about
coefficients,
methane?
absorption coefficients.
Methane.
It's not a chemical kit.
Methane. Show us methane. Show us methane then.
Ali.
Well, what's the index of
whoa.
refraction of methane?
Let me listen. No, let me get on. Let me get on. So, Dean, can you program in what the refraction index of methane is?
This is 1.5. Well, what is it? What's methane?
Well, it's a gas.
No, I meant the index of refraction. Jesus.
Well, it's got the highest.
See, hang on.
That's got the highest. That's got the highest thing of refraction. Wait a minute, Pete. Let me finish.
Yeah, but it's solid. It's not going to be solid.
highest.
It's not going to be solid methane, is it? So, what index of refraction do you want to put in here? Do you know what the standard atmospheric refraction is? Is 1.003, which is this.
Yeah, but you're avoiding the question. No. Go and find out. You seem to know what the refractive indexes are. How about what the refractive index of methane is? Why don't you put that in there and let's see what it looks like?
What is the refractive index of methane? Ali, give me
Go look it up. Go look it up. You can Google it.
Hang on, Ali. Hang on. This is a better point to be made. Dean, imagine you put a lamppost, right, shining its full light at the top of that ship, and you're the observer. What would you see as you were looking out over a certain distance? That's why I ask you about where is the horizon? What type of distances have you incorporated into this? And how does it relate to reality? So if you put a lamppost, if you remember my prior example, before you brought this up, on top of that ship, what would you see as the observer? Can you model that?
It's in our chat, Dean. I put the methane index of refraction.
Yeah, but this will be for solid methane.
Solid?
No.
What is solid?
Oh right, wait a minute. Are you sure? Are you sure this is it? No, I mean,
100%.
100% methane.
We're not looking through methane, though, are we?
This is actually less than standard atmospheric refraction, though, Sean.
Yeah, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the. This is the.
This has got the highest standard.
This is the link.
The highest reflective.
This is the link that I got it from.
The refractive index of methane is 1.000436650.
That's what I put in.
That's what Sean posted.
That's what I put in.
Yeah, so
What's
this
that got to do with anything? What's that got to do with Ali? Why do you mention?
Well, are you ready? So that it doesn't actually magnify the ship at all in that circumstance.
Right.
But what does it do?
Nothing.
It's
as a gas.
It's less than the atmosphere, Ali.
Acting as a gas.
It's less
than
the
saying,
atmosphere, Ali.
All right, okay, right. So okay. So say you had a methane gas, right? And you had an object behind that. Say you had a source of methane gas in front of you just floating about, and you looked through that. You're telling me there would be no distortion at all whatsoever?
Dean, I have a question. Does data for 3D artists matter when I give you that index of refraction?
Yes.
Okay. 1 second.
So does because this is accurate. This is exactly what this is.
This is not how a reflection would work in reality.
Wait a minute. So
no, you're lying here.
No, stop. Hey, hang on, Pete. Pete, I'm trying to figure something out right now. Hang on, Pete. I'm trying to figure something out.
Right. So what this is called, this is the Arnold rendering engine that you're looking at right now. It's called a brute force ray tracer.
Cool.
Now, what it does ray tracing. So when that ray passes through this big lens that I've got here, it actually traces a path through it as light would go through it. It's that simple.
What is light, Dean?
Oh my God! It's an
No. Hang on, stop.
It's an EM wave.
Dean.
Oh no, it's not.
All right, hang on, stop, stop, guys. Hey, I'm trying to get something out. I am trying to get something out. Hang on. God damn it! I was in the middle of a conversation with Dean, and you guys just went off. Hang on, 1 second, please.
It's flat earth, mate.
Dean, that link I put in the chat, in our chat, you should go to that because what I was asking you about, does it matter? The site is called reflectiveindex.info. And it has what I was looking at when I first gave you the numbers is the organic material and then methane, CH4, and then it gives you the refractive index. But down that shelf list, it says 3D data for 3D artists, and it was different. It was 1.6, I think. Does that because you're
6.7?
Is that because your program versus your visual?
Sorry. Wait a minute. So wait a minute. Let me have a look at this.
Sean, this is all getting off on a very tangent point, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's very tangent.
No, it's not.
It's very.
No, it's not. And it's my question. You stop hijacking. I was talking to Dean there.
Yeah, that's kind of what
it's
happened.
1.6. Stick that in and let's see what that looks.
1.6.
Stick the 1.6 in.
Right, so 1.6 is this.
No, if you click on that,
look
that
at that.
1.66 is aluminium.
Yeah, but
if you
this diversion.
Yeah, but
it's all about his imagination.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, Pete.
So
the problem with this, Ali, is in any refractive index that's going to distort this and cause this kind of lens effect, when we move away from it, can you see what's happening? It's actually getting bigger.
Wait, Dean, are you in 4K right now?
This is not what's happening in reality.
No, it matters. It matters right now. Because Dean, you got to remember. No, stop. Hang on. No. This is a problem we're having right now. Stop. Hang on. Ali, hang on. Pete, man.
Guys, have you guys never looked through a magnifying glass in real life?
No, hang on, Carlos. Stop. Guys, stop. This is a problem.
Glass has got nothing
what the
to
fuck?
do with
Am I deaf? What the hell? No one can fucking hear me. What the fuck? Carlos, shut the fuck up for a second. God damn it! My panel. If I'm trying to talk, just let me fucking talk. Better yet, don't fucking cut me off. Fuck. Now I remember, Dean. You're in 4K right now, and because of the Hangout, what's happening is it's becoming insanely pixelated. You got to lower your side down. Otherwise, the watch page, all they're seeing is pixels. That's all we're seeing.
Oh, no. Okay, so no. So I can't render, a ray tracer can't render in real time. So doing brute force, so for instance, if I move this around, it will become pixelated. Absolutely. Now, when I stop, it will gradually get more detailed and more detailed and more detailed.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah, that's what's happening.
So that this is, there's no computer on Earth that could do real-time ray tracing to this degree. It has to do multiple passes. And it's still not complete now. It won't be complete for 5 minutes, but it's getting gradually more detailed, more detailed, more detailed, more detailed.
So what is the ray,
What is the
Dean?
independent variable here?
What's a ray? What's a ray, Dean?
Yeah, Dean's input is the software engineer's input is the variable here, right?
He should go and get a job for NASA.
Yeah, that can be considered the variable.
A certain result. I'm done there. Yeah, off you go.
Yeah, but we can. That's the best part about what he can do. We're able to actually verify what you believe and I believe.
That's not
real, Sean.
Huh?
That chip he showed on the horizon. I know from my own experience looking through all the images that presented throughout the last 4 years, this is not what we experience in reality. There's something else going on. Well, look at that's why I asked at the very start. If you've looked at a light, right, across a river, a fair distance up, the light comes to your feet, like the sun comes to your feet at the beach. Reflections, it's a different thing going on. This is what I'm saying. He has the completely wrong end of the stick.
Right. This is not what we see in reality because this is fiction.
Yeah. Okay. So I see what you're saying.
This is representing what flat earthers think we see in reality.
No.
So
this is what this is what he means. Dean, can you incorporate the sun better in this?
I can. I don't
Pete,
know where I've got
is that what you were saying?
Excellent question, Sean G. Excellent fucking challenge to Dean.
No, that's what you're saying, though, Pete. Right? You're basically what he's saying is that because I see exactly what you're doing, Dean, but because it's not as realistic as the observation, it's harder to perceive what you're seeing, like what's being shown, and how that could be real or not. I think, right, Pete? Is that what you're saying?
I've got azimuth and elevation of a physical sun. So I can lower it, and I can set it.
Okay, that's so.
I can almost set it on the horizon, and I can change where it is. So let's see.
Oh, can you do a sunset? Could you actually do a
sequence
going?
This
do a
is
sunset then. Do a quick sunset then.
Whoa, calm down, everybody. Calm down. So this is a. Wait a minute.
Calm.
Yeah. Well, everybody's shouting.
You got a black line through your screen. Is that it fixing itself?
Oh, no, I haven't extended the water far enough. Give me a second.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I wasn't.
Oh, was that the curve? Oh, look.
That's the edge.
It looks straight. No, if it was the edge, it would be white. Because we all know.
What you need to do, and I'm being as serious as I can get, you need to be playing around with these maps or have an upload of you doing that, because You know, you want people to give you tips and ideas for these models. I can get really good ones, but I have to see things happening. Like, that's why I just thought about the sun. Because when I'm looking at it, I see exactly what you're saying and why the optics are happening.
Wait a minute. You're making me do this, and it's like, you know, I'm charging you by the hour. I want to be efficient. So.
Oh, you shouldn't do your shit on YouTube then, because
all in it for the money.
I've already downloaded
it. Just in it for the money.
I've already downloaded all your model streams. So yeah, you're screwed.
So anyway, we've got the sun there just above the front of this ocean vessel.
Pete, that's what you're talking about, right? That's what you were saying that's not there before? That sun? The reflection of the sun. Yes? Okay. Continue.
So does that happen 100% of the time, Dean?
Does what happen? Well, I don't even know. I just got asked to put the fucking sun in.
Index of refraction, it changes all the time. Nothing's ever a pattern with it.
So
yeah, exactly. So how can you actually define the horizon if it's changing all the time? Because your so-called curve. Wait a minute, Dean. Now, your so-called curve, it starts at a certain point, but it kind of moves back and forward.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like flexible. There's a flexibility there.
Ali, what happens is because the optics change all the time. The mirages that happen, or the phenomenon that happen, better yet, they happen differently, but obstruction or those things happen at the same rate. So 3.5 miles offshore at 6 feet tall, obstruction starts, or all the refraction, all these. This is what this data is for.
Have you verified that, Sean? Have you verified that?
Yeah. Through observations and Dean's models and other people's.
Naked eye. I'm not talking about looking through.
You couldn't.
I'm not talking about looking through a camera or anything. Have anybody actually looked out of the water and watched a ship disappear?
Yes.
Over the horizon.
Every single person that did a video and just set it up on a tripod probably hit record and then watched.
With the aid of an optical thing like a camera or something or a telescope. Has anybody actually seen? And also, has anybody ever seen looming or the reflection that we get?
Yes.
You're saying that on the horizon.
I've never seen the actual looming. I've seen boats go over the curb, with my naked eye. But the problem is your eyes alone, you're not going to see it the same way. You're not going to see it like we're seeing these in these videos, but it's going to happen still.
Function.
Yeah, it's still going to happen though.
That is my point.
If if it was a ship big enough, I will be able to watch it disappear from the bottom up. But the ship would have to be big enough for my eyes to be able to focus and get enough, to be able to see it enough with my naked eye to know exactly what's happening, where any kind of refraction starts, where the obstruction is. I'll be able to notice it less than if I had a zoom function, but I'll still see it.
Do you know what, Sean? Do you know what extinction is? Extinction.
Well, Sean, how does your eye work, man? How does your eye work?
Wait a minute. No, I'm asking. Let me ask Sean the question first, and you go. Sean, have you heard of extinction, or Dean, or anybody on the panel?
I
would say, if I was talking about light, and I said there's a thing called extinction, would any news guys be able to explain it?
I don't understand it.
I can understand that, Ali. I can understand
that.
No,
but I'm asking Dean. He's the light expert guy. Have you ever heard of light extinction before?
Yeah, Sean also does photos too, so he should be able to. He can help us out too.
Well, he's never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Never really.
How do you spell it?
Okay, fair enough. Well,
would that be extinction?
That's a shame. Then you don't know what the fuck you are talking about. Then, if you've never heard of it, if you want to talk about
extension, or extinction.
Extinction, like the dodo.
Okay.
Like
it says the term.
It's coefficient.
It means the loss of light in the atmosphere from a direct transmitted beam.
A beam.
Or it says absorption in scattering.
Right. Now, what does that suggest? What does the word extinction?
Oh, no, wait a minute. If you'd have said to me absorption coefficients and scatter coefficients, I'd have gone, fuck yeah, I use it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Extinction's the word. Extinction's the actual word.
I don't. I control them independently, I'm afraid. I'm sorry to say. I control
So you
them
don't know what it is,
independently.
but you didn't know what it was, and now you do know what it was because it
Okay,
was
can you
called
tell me
that.
what? Can you tell me what the absorption coefficients and scatter coefficients are of honey, for example? Because what you're on about now is the layman's term of this bollocks extinction. You know, something like when an animal goes dead.
Yeah, that's what I
Absorption
thought.
coefficients
No,
and
no,
scatter
no.
coefficients
When you talk
is
about
how
light.
it disperses in a medium.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
Dean, listen.
If
I'm way
you-
ahead of you. You don't
Hey,
even
Alex,
know the
when-
difference.
the thing
You
is,
don't
when
even
I-
know the difference between a ray and a beam.
But see, when
So
I read
if
that,
you're
but
gonna
see,
go
Ali,
on-
here's the thing.
If
The
you
way you
were-
said, Ali, the
if
way
you-
you said it was, no, I didn't understand it. But the second I saw absorption and scattering, I instantly knew what it was talking
Hey,
about.
Allie,
Yeah, but
That's
what
what
would it? What
extinction
do
means.
you not know? But wait a minute. Do you
Allie.
not know
Let-
what extinction means?
this thing working?
You suddenly. So what
No,
would?
go ahead,
what
Sean.
would-
Go ahead, Sean.
What,
He's
would-
just
what
talking
if
over.
I said to you? If I said to you, light extinction, what would you say? What would that
Hey,
picture in your?
Allie.
Because we were talking about light.
I don't know. I've never heard that.
Allie.
Let
If you
Sean
weren't
go ahead.
Scottish or from the UK, and I were to ask you, have you
I'm
ever heard
not
of
from
a
the UK. I'm from Scotland.
perambulator?
That's
You'd
part
say,
of
no,
the
I've never.
UK.
What the hell's a perambulator? And then you'd laugh, right?
Say that again.
If
No, I didn't hear.
if you were to ask the average person
I
from
know what a
America,
perambulator is.
you ever heard of a perambulator? They'd go, "What the hell are you talking about? You're insane."
Yeah, but everybody
Well, yeah,
said
you
the
do.
word.
You-
If I
you
said
use
light
an
extinction,
antiquated word.
guys,
You
I
use
said
odd
light
terminology, and of course we're not
extinction.
going to
But
understand
I said
what you're
light
talking
extinction.
about.
That you would be suggesting that you didn't know what the word extinction meant, which is stupid. Everybody knows that's a layman's term.
Riley. Damn, what the fuck is
Everybody
wrong
knows
with
what
me?
extinction
Ali,
means.
it really,
Yeah.
honestly, to be honest, it sounded like you said extinction, like animals dying. I was trying to figure that out.
That's exactly what he said.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly
that's
what I
not-
said. Extinction.
Using
But
an
The
obscure
fact,
So
term.
there's unicorn farts.
What
the
the hell?
fact that the light dies or it doesn't get, it's basically doesn't get to the viewer or
No,
it doesn't get
it's
past.
blocked. It doesn't die.
Right. So wait a
Right,
minute.
exactly.
That's
So now,
that's absorption
Or absorbed.
coefficients, Alex.
no, not at all. Right, listen.
Yeah. In all
No,
of
that's
physics
the
and
nature
science,
of light.
yeah.
That's why I asked
Right.
you, Dean, what is light?
Oh yeah, that's a better question.
Why is it a better question?
It depends in which context you're asking, Pete.
No, in the context of Ali's coefficient there.
The absorption
Extinction
coefficient,
coefficient.
you'd think about it as a particle or a photon because you'd need some energy to disperse.
Don't be thinking about don't be saying what I would think of. What do you think of it? What is light?
No, it depends on the context. You said in relating it to an absorption coefficient, I would need an energy and a point. So I would call it a
what
photon.
Ali was talking about, an extinction association with light. I can understand what he's
But
talking
what
about
it's
there. In other
called
words,
is the scattering
light
and
has
no, Pete.
a
But the
limited
problem,
extent,
Pete. The problem is that
exactly.
Dean,
Pete, it doesn't get to the eye.
I'm guessing.
Now,
right, but
certain
it
colors.
gets to what is light then, Ali,
colors,
right?
Pete. Certain colors.
Guys,
I
I know you have stuff to say, but you, Ali and Pete, you guys are talking over a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave then.
You don't have to leave, sir. You don't have to leave. You don't have to leave.
I'm so passionate. Sorry.
Oh, no, Ali. I'm not saying this, it's not a
the
disrespect
rest
at
of the
all. It's not a
definition.
disrespect thing. I see what you're doing. I'm just letting you know. That's it. I'm not saying you got to go anywhere.
I think it's a great hangout, Sean, and like we have to understand there's about 7 people trying to talk together.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say is let me just say this in 10 seconds. Dan. What I asked Dean brings into bear what the question I asked you earlier, what is light, and also brings into what Ali was talking about there, this extinction property to light. In other words, at some point, light stops being light. It stops being that property we associate with the phenomenon. So
I'm not sure what
that's
you're
what
doing,
I'm talking
Dean.
about.
Can you
What is
stop
light?
sharing?
And I know what
That's
light
better,
is.
Pete. That's better explained than I did there, mate.
I know what
That's
light
well
is, though, Ali. I know what light is, and I swear to you, I know what light is. Light is an interaction, it's an effect. But that's what I was asking Dean. What is
and
light?
it's not an electromagnetic wave, by the way.
No.
It's not electromagnetic.
No, it isn't.
Wait a minute.
It's a component.
Wait a minute.
It's a component of light.
Wait a minute. So, if it's not an electromagnetic wave, you've got a problem there because refraction no longer works. You do realize this, right?
Why is that?
Because refraction is a direct reduction in light speed based on the interaction between two electromagnetic waves.
That's right.
No,
It's
that's
that fucking
wait a minute,
simple.
wait a minute.
Jesus.
That's what
And an
science. Wait a minute.
electromagnetic
So
wouldn't be
tell
able to
me,
affect it if it wasn't.
how does? Hey, listen, guys. How does a candle produce an electromagnetic wave? Then
How does an electromagnet magnet affect that candle if it's not an
a
electromagnetic
candle.
wave?
Yeah,
Is
good,
that
hey, good one, Sean. Very good one.
what do you mean? It's an electromagnetic effect? What, a candle?
Yes, you can take a candle and put it in a strong electromagnetic field.
based?
Listen, now let me finish, Ali. You keep interrupting
I can't.
people.
I know I'm terrible.
You know, you can take a candle, put it in an electromagnetic field, and turn that field on, and it will affect that candle.
Yeah, and so what? That doesn't prove it's an electromagnetic.
Deflects the candle.
Right. Okay. So I could get a Hoover. I could hoover up dust. So you're telling me that the dust is part of a Hoover?
What the heck is a Hoover?
To me, it changes it. It moves it. It deflects it. Yeah, physically moves it.
Light is a very complex thing. It's not something that you can describe very easily.
Oh yes.
Oh, a Hoover
yes,
is a
very
brand of
complex.
vacuum.
Oh, very complex.
It is, Alan. If you claim to,
And
if
you
you claim to
don't
know it,
understand it. And
that's
you
Dunning-Kruger
guys
right
don't
there.
understand
Example.
it though.
Dunning-Kruger.
You guys,
Love it.
Paging Dunning-Kruger.
You guys don't. Oh no! Wait a minute. That refers to someone that doesn't know what they're fucking talking about. Whereas I do.
Do you have any citation
Oh,
for
absolutely. What, a citation? Yep, my mother will tell you. Well,
Okay, Ali, tell me what refraction is then.
It's the bending of light or the breaking of light. If you want to.
No.
Oh, I better go in headphones. All right, buddy. I'll do that. How's that? I'm actually on a.
What about me? Am I okay?
At the moment. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but when I hold it, when it's real close to my mouth, when it's real close to my mouth, I look cool, and my cat likes it.
They're gonna go.
No, I'm actually on a tablet at the moment, Sean. How's my sound now? Is that better? All right, it's because I'm further away. I'm actually on a tablet at the moment, so, and it's flat. I've got a flat tablet, just like the air.
Right, anyway, Ali, back to it. What describe to me the effect of refraction at a micro and macro level?
Well, obviously, it bends light, or
right,
it breaks light.
Yep, it doesn't break, but that's the layman's term of it.
No, it breaks light.
Okay,
yes,
I'll say that maybe you might be correct. Now tell me how.
In what way?
The expert way that you know everything about light. Tell me what refraction actually is and how it does what it does. Not
all right,
purely
it diverts
what
refraction.
It does.
All right, okay. Yeah, okay. Refraction is what happens when a light travels through out of one medium into another.
Okay, and what happens to it to cause whatever effect?
1 second, you say, Alan, that's correct. I have another question, but I'm fucking correct, Dean. So don't piss on and move along.
I'm asking you what actually happens at a micro and macro level.
You asked me there.
What is refraction at a micro or macro level?
And what did I say to you?
You told me the layman's fucking term of it. I'm saying micro or macro. Describe it now or shut the fuck up about refraction.
Get in there.
There is no difference between micro and macro.
Is there not?
There is at a breakdown level when we think about what actually is going on, and we have to take into account.
We wouldn't need to.
No, it's not. There isn't any behavior.
That's exactly
right. Okay, whichever one you think is correct, micro or macro, describe that fucking thing to me then. Go.
Will do. I can do, Dean.
Not you.
No. Right. Sorry, Ali.
Right. No, it's all right. Right. In what way do you mean on the macro, on the large scale, and the small scale?
Right. Okay.
Well,
so
on the large
what
scale,
happens?
it will refract. Wait a minute. On the large scale, it will
Not large scale.
refract more
Not large
than what it is
scale.
in the night.
Oh my God. No, Ali.
When
Tell
you
me
say
about what
macro,
happens at an
macro means large. Excuse me.
energy or
Excuse me,
atomic level,
macro.
please. Energy or atomic level,
Right.
please.
Oh, we're going down to the atomic. You explain it to me then.
No, I'm saying you're the master. Teach me.
No, I don't. No, no.
You, Dean, what is light?
I yield the floor. I yield the floor to you, my friend. I
Why?
admit I know nothing what I'm talking about.
You
You
tell me what
please,
it's like,
Dean,
Dean. That's the question I asked you before
educate
you
me.
asked Alex. Off you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
Come on, educate me, Dean. Tell me what you've been
no,
told.
No. Okay. Let's step one step back. I will go back to that and I'll tell you it. But let's step one step back because I'm wanting to know where your foundation knowledge starts. Tell me what index of refraction is. What is the I and what is the R? And what is important that is actually missing from that?
The I and the R.
Yeah.
The I and the R. The I and the R's. Did you mean?
Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. I'll stop.
Don't worry about that.
No. Sorry, I'll stop.
Question on this front. This is just basic physics, right?
Right, so index of refraction, IOR. We've got index
so
and we've got
the
refraction. And then we've got an element that's missing, Ali, you light expert, you. So what...
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll appreciate that.
What
I'm
are...
a lot more expert on it yourself. Thank you.
So what are the three important variables of light refraction described in IOR? And what is the one that is apparently missing in IOR to be able to work out shit? Go for it.
Well, what I'll say is that the refraction is... I don't bloody know.
Ali, you know it well enough. Shut up, Dean. Ali,
I know plenty. I'm only pissing him. He's an idiot. He doesn't. Hey, listen. He doesn't even know the difference between a light beam and a light ray. He doesn't have a clue the difference.
Ali, hang on, Ali. You know it well enough. He's just confounding you in terms, right? So if you shine a
I
laser
know.
against, but hang on, Ali. If you shine a laser against a mirror, right, that's 90 degrees to the horizontal, you will get an angle that it reflects off of. So we have an angle of incidence. What it's called. That's the angle if you shine it at this vertical mirroring plane. Then we have an angle of reflection. And the law is that the angle of incidence always equals the angle of reflection in relation to the reflected plane. That's all it is.
Yes.
So yeah, but there's one thing to add. So Pete, you're about 80% correct. Although you might have said the medium that it's traveling through, we're missing the actual surface normal, which is what the IOR relates to.
That's what the mirror is. That's what the mirror is. We included that.
Yeah.
You weren't paying attention.
So surface normal. So so the angle of incidence, the normal direction of the surface.
Remember I mentioned the mirror that was perpendicular to the horizon? You probably didn't understand those terms, or the horizontal.
Yeah, I didn't understand perpendicular or horizon
perpendicular
or mirror
to the horizontal.
So
and it was a mirror, so that's a mirror upright in our terms.
Or
but it doesn't relate to your terms because level is not level, right?
No, level is not flat.
It's even a more perfect
level's not flat, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, level is, that's absolutely correct. I have to agree with you there, actually, because level is not flat. That's true.
Correct.
But Ali, do you see how he tries to confound you with terms where you can understand it in a simple sense? If you reflect something off water, skip a stone off water, for instance.
Yeah, I know. And if you get a laser beam, right, and if you get it as low an angle, right, as low an angle to the water, it'll actually jump across, it'll spread.
Right.
As it goes, it'll stretch. Right,
So don't
and
let
that's what's happening.
like Dean confound you with terms like this. I asked Dean the question.
He doesn't confound me.
What is light? He's going to be confounded by this question, Ali. What is light, Dean? Is it a wave? Is it a particle? Is it a mixture of both? And if it is a mixture of both, what is the ultimate cause? Get down to the micro, please, if you will, Dean.
Light is a very hard thing to understand the actual nature of light, and it's taken me about a month to get to the point where I am now, studying it when I used it all the time and didn't actually. I use calculations all the time. I didn't actually understand the nature of light. I couldn't describe to you what index of refraction is and the maths behind it, but I used it all the time for a long time. Now I can, thanks to flat Earth.
What about monochromatic light? What's that, Dean?
Why it's just
monochromatic.
wait, is it not just single? I actually don't
Is
know.
that?
Yeah,
So
just
Is
Dean,
that?
you still haven't given an
single
answer. You've
waveform.
given a preamble.
Oh, so you don't know? You don't
What is light?
know? So, oh, I must be the expert. I'm back to the expert now.
Hang
yeah.
on, Ali. Ali,
Oh,
he's
let's
just
not jump to
preamble.
conclusions.
He hasn't given us an actual explanation. And
Wait a minute. Why is everybody's asking me questions? Pick one, but I don't think we ought to concentrate on me all
you
the
still
time.
haven't given me an answer to the question. You give me a preamble. So what exactly is light? You understand it better now, but what exactly is it?
Like I say, it depends on your context.
Visible light from the sun.
Holy cow!
Visible light. Let's talk about the sun. You know about the sun, Dean. You know how significant it is in all Masonic symbolism, etc. That's for good reason, right? Don't be hating the Masons. I'm sons. You have a soul. Soul is you, soul. There's an intimate connection between us and
no
the
such
sun.
thing as
Now
a
you're just
soul.
confusing
Anyway,
me,
let's
Pete.
just talk
You
about the
just
light
really,
from the
you
sun.
really
When the sun
confusing me.
arrives, Dean, and we have light, what happens? And when the sun-
Pareidolia is a bad thing.
Yeah,
Forget about
I
that.
don't have a
Forget about
soul.
that. What happens? What is this light? So we're talking about this light. It allows us to see. Why do we see? What's your interaction with this light, and what is it?
Well, the sun.
The light.
Well, it's just energy waves.
Energy waves.
And
Yeah,
it's a shit ton of electromagnetic waves in different spectrums. Some of them actually get caught in the ionosphere.
Are they visible? Are they visible energy waves?
Some of them are not. It depends what you're looking with. Are you on about your eyes? No.
So Dean, let's just engage in a thought experiment. We're halfway to the sun between Earth, 93 million miles, roughly about 50 million miles. We look at the sun, and Blair, we can't bear to look at it. Get the most expensive sunglasses you can get. Now we turn the other way. What do we see?
Well, besides being cooked by the radiation
What
that
about
is.
that? Yeah, we have our suits on.
Okay, cool.
What do we see?
Three-piece suits protect us fine. Okay, so we see the we see the fully illuminated. Wait a minute, I can't do it in the voice, but the amazing blue marble. No, I can't do it.
So if we look slightly to the left, slightly to the left, slightly to the right, slightly to the up, or slightly down, what do we see?
Sorry, say again. When I'm looking
slightly to the left, the way the Earth is out of our view, slightly to the right, the way the Earth is out of our view, slightly up, the way the Earth is out of our view, slightly down, the way the Earth is out of our view, what do we see?
The Sagittarian arm of the Milky Way and about 1 billion fucking stars, I think.
But all the sun's light is invisible to us, right?
Well, yeah, it would be.
Aristarchus.
There's no part. There's nothing for those energy waves
So are
to
you
interact
saying
with.
that light is invisible?
Sorry?
Is the sun's light invisible?
It has to be reflected.
Well, yeah, it depends. It's got to be reflected off something, Pete. There's no matter up there for it to be reflected off.
Right.
When you see
we're in an atmosphere, right, Dean? We're in an atmosphere which has 35 million billion tons of water particulation at its invisible water phase.
Yes, but you can see light directly. Wait a minute, and it doesn't reflect off that, Pete. Thank you. No, it doesn't reflect off the gas. It kind of could do, but not to any degree where it's the haze that you see. Not to any degree that would see light rays coming down unless there's heavy atmosphere there and it's focused light, and then you can differentiate. But when it's all
So Dean, we've come all the way back from 50 million miles away back to Earth now, and now we can see the sun's rays. How do we see the sun's rays?
Remembering days.
Daisy chains and laughs.
These are all clear, Sean. Excellent.
No, Sean's freaking me out.
Sean, can you be my grandpa?
How do we see these previously invisible sun's rays? This is my point.
Sorry, say again, Pete.
Back to the nature of light. So we're back down on Earth now, and now we can suddenly discern these invisible sun's light rays that were in space.
They're not invisible. They're illuminated. They're interacting with the surfaces, and we're seeing those surfaces react with that light.
Right. So we know on Earth, right, that there is water particulation everywhere. Do you deny that, Dean?
Particulation? What do you mean?
Yeah,
define
that's my own term.
Yeah,
that's my own term.
That's right, because nobody else uses that term.
Yeah, define that. I'm unfamiliar.
I'll define it. I'll define it.
Think of a piece of cheese and divide that piece of cheese down to the smallest percentage that you can possibly do, and that's a particulation of cheese.
I like
my cheese.
Oh my god!
water. That's why you can see the light. That's why you
Oh,
see the sunlight.
shit.
Sort of cheese.
Somebody find the number for the nearest mental institution.
Right, Dean,
Hamburger.
Dean,
Shit.
back to Dean. Right, listen, Dean.
That is
Why
just
is
bug fuck
everybody
crazy.
picking on me, Ali?
Well, it's pick on Dean Day.
Ali, I really love you, Ali. We know it's opposite day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I was going to say, Dean, what have you learned? What have you learned in the last month that you pretended to know before?
Pretended to know.
Well, you did when you first came on the scene. You were like, "That's wait a minute." But when you first came on the scene, right, you were this expert drawing rays, and you didn't even know what the difference between a ray and a beam was, or anything like that. And now I'm just wondering.
And you do, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Big Blue. Were you the guy that done that thing with that Bob, the science guy that worked out the circumference of the Earth? Was it you and him, or?
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, it was, right. Hey, listen, I was told, right, when that was promoted, it was like, oh, we're all around the world, everybody's doing it, and then I heard it was just used to that actually done it.
That ended up that way.
So you two guys,
we had a couple more guys lined up.
You two guys,
We had a couple more guys lined up, but the weather didn't permit.
Did you test it again? Did you verify it over and over again? How many times have you actually done it, or is it just the once?
We can do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. If you'd like to, Allie, we can do it any day of the week. We've got Google Earth. We can figure out where the sun is. We could do it any time.
Oh, well, you can't look up at the sun and. But what are you using as your baseline? Blue, what are you using as your baseline? What are you actually using as your baseline then? Because you need a baseline, don't you? You need a distance.
No, you know, what kind of baseline? What baseline are you talking about?
A distance from one, a distance between, to get your angles right, you have to have a baseline, right?
You have to have a
and
distance.
then you take the angles, then you take the two angles from the two ends of the baseline, and where they two, then you can work out where the two lines cross. Is that correct?
No, you need to watch the experiment.
No, but that's not how you find. Well, that's how they found out. That's how they found out the. What was it? The distance to. Let me think. Was it Jupiter or something like that? The guy. What he did was.
It was Uranus.
Well, you were measuring curve. You said Bob made a statement that you two guys measured curvature, the circumference of the Earth or something.
Well,
two guys measure Uranus.
I mean, I'll tell you how.
See, Carlos, I told you were a knob. Oh, sorry, Sean. Actually, no, I love you, Carlos.
Love you too, brother.
I apologize, Sean.
Ali, you also have to remember there's actually going to be a very large Eratosthenes experiment that's going to happen soon. Team Skeptic by the Flat Earth.
Yeah.
They're going to do a live stream of it.
Yeah. That'll be.
Ali, I think you know everything there is to know about light.
Are we still on opposites day?
Yeah.
I think you're being a bit disingenuous there, Dean.
Oh my God, no, that's not opposite. You should have said, Sean, I'm being very honest.
Sean, does being disingenuous, Sean, can I ask a question? Does calling someone disingenuous deserve to get kicked off the panel? Because I think that was an insult, man.
No, Ali, it's opposite day.
No, anyway.
Hang on, Ali. Hang on. That was a good ending.
I know. Sorry, Pete.
Hang on, Ali.
Hang on. That was a good ending to the next segment here, which sort of gets us back to the last segment. So, Dean, you have no viable position to offer regarding the nature of light. It certainly seems that way anyway. What about the dual wave particle nature of light as given to us by the current science? I mean, do you not adhere to that?
Greg.
No, but I'm just saying this is kind of very hard to matters, doesn't it? What we're seeing here, you deal in graphics, Dean. So you want to get the graphics right? You want to get all the component parts you're modeling right. So if you don't get how the eye works, for instance, or you don't get a basic component of reality like 35 million billion tons of water particulation in the atmosphere at any one time, and you don't take it into account, you might be off in your reckoning somewhat, right, Dean? And you might sort of have to step down a ladder or two in terms of the heights of hubris you seem to be at.
I love Pete Shea attempting to explain that he knows how things work.
Yeah, but I haven't even got on to explaining what light is for you, my
You're
friend.
off on one hell of a gish yellow now. You
Sean,
must
I
be
could say
way
all this
down
stuff
there.
over because I know what light is, man.
One less before you hear. One less.
Obviously not. You keep asking us what it is.
I'm asking
Clearly,
Dean.
you don't know what it is, or you
know what
wouldn't continue asking us what it is.
Well, Big
What
Blue,
are
I
you
didn't know.
smoking and
Oh,
how
you
much?
were in cooperation with Bob the Science Guy. Of course, that's very revealing. If you haven't revealed yourself enough already.
Operation
Your big
Bong.
belly showing. Your big baboon's arse is showing.
I bet you have a bong in the shape of a dodo you smoke out of.
Yeah, probably.
I'm cool. And listen, light is an effect. Science tells you.
I could probably
I could
probably find one at the shop here in town.
I'm on my phone.
Hey, Sean G, I could make a series of T-shirts regarding the dodo, and I could be a millionaire. We could be millionaires, Sean. And I tell you, I tell you why I can say that with confidence, because I know the real fucking significance of the non-existent dodo bird.
Only you hold that secret?
No, I'm only reading the story that was told, man. Don't you see that?
Pete, it sounds like you have an awful lot of special knowledge.
I'm just reading it.
Hey, did you know the word dodo means dumb in some cultures?
Of course I do.
As daft as a dodo.
Opposite world. Dean just mentioned opposite day there. Everything is opposite. Let's go
You're a dodo then.
Hang on, Carlos.
Yep,
hang on, Carlos. You know the way you look to us on the screen here, right? And I have to say, you're all fairly fine characters as far as I can see. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, that's a different version or a different reality of Carlos than what we see. So this is the point here.
It is actually.
What you said is wrong because we went over this, and you tried to say it was opposite, and it's not opposite because if it was opposite, your right hand when you put it up would then be your left, but it's not. It's still your right hand. And I said you could verify this by putting a ring on your finger and doing the same thing. Your reflection doesn't all of a sudden have a ring on its left hand, on the left hand.
I also have an issue with the fact that you're saying everyone is seeing a different reality. We all have our own individual perception of the same reality.
So how do we see things, man?
No. I disagree there. We don't actually know what the true nature of reality is.
We do, Ali. We've just forgotten.
And if you do, you've got your head. I agree. We are receivers.
Can anybody hear me at all?
I can hear you, Cliff.
Yep. No,
okay.
I can't hear you.
I just wanted to say
Speak
something.
Put your beer down. Put your beer down and
Allie,
come a bit closer to the microphone. Who are you?
Put your beer down.
For Christ's sake.
Use guys.
Sean, that guy's trying to silence me, mate.
Yeah, I'm on my phone instead of at my microphone. So I just want to say one thing real fast because it's something that I experienced as well. With respect to Dean, I also, when I got into Flat Earth, had to go back and look up some nautical things that I was a little rusty on and maybe didn't know, the exact formula or the exact detail for something. So yes, you can be very well proficient at your trade and still have to go back and look up, things. I'm sure any physician goes back and looks up medical journals before he does a procedure just to make sure that he's correct.
Hey, Schrodinger's cat, Cliff, driving a ship is like driving a bus. For fuck's sake, it's the easiest thing ever.
What did you just say?
Well, driving a ship is not driving a bus.
Yes, it is. You have loads of time to adjust your angle and your target destination.
Wrong, completely wrong. I can tell you that.
Excuse me, you do not drive. You do not drive a ship. You steer it. Sorry.
Hey, Pete, here's a problem.
I've just schooled a nautical expert. This is brilliant.
Pete,
the wheels on
Pete,
the boat go.
Stop, guys. You, Pete, on a bus, you do have to adjust for its length. The problem is with a boat, you don't adjust for just its front turn. You have to adjust for the whole way the whole boat adjusts itself. And even better, you need to look so far ahead of you further than in a bus. I mean, you're.
Yeah, but imagine you're 100 miles of open ocean. Sean.
Yeah, guess what? The waves, the waves or swells or anything in front of you within 2 feet matter just as much as ahead of you. You have to look ahead of you, but you also can't stay looking ahead of you. You have to adjust yourself because you have to look in front of you and ahead of you for reaction time. It's completely different. There's no brakes on a boat.
It's just like a
well, there kind of is, but not really.
Pete, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Sorry, Sean, I'd like to correct you. Sean, 1 second. Sean, 1 second. I'd like to correct you there. I'm driving a lorry at the moment, right? And we get taught advanced driving skills where we actually have to look 200 meters ahead and stuff like that, or 100 meters ahead, and see.
Everybody do that?
See people? No, they don't.
No, they don't teach that.
No, they don't.
Not. They say they do, but they do not. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. It's different.
I'm actually.
I know what you're saying now.
Yeah, but it's the same as with a boat. You were absolutely right with a boat. To steer a boat isn't easy. To keep it on a straight line is quite hard.
Steady course.
Ali, you just talked about 200 meters. A boat only has to navigate in terms of miles, man. Come on, what's wrong?
No
with
direction. They don't. How do they measure miles, Pete? They don't have a tachometer in a boat.
Don't know about refueling at sea, Schrodinger.
They got the trigonometry there.
I just want to ask Pete, how many ships has he driven?
Right.
No, you sail a ship.
Well, what branch of the service were you in?
Or steer it.
But hang on. Listen, come on, we're talking about this, right? If you're in a car, you're driving on a straight road, 200 meters, you have to make a decision to change your orientation. That's some sort of a pressure. Now, when you're at sea, all you have is the fucking ocean or the open.
Doesn't work that way.
No. Have you ever heard of a channel?
Let Schrodinger talk for a second.
Hang on, Pete. Let Schrodinger's cat go.
Shut the fuck up and let Schrodinger for a second. Schrodinger, you're up.
No, Pete. You've said a lot.
Let him talk.
Everybody go on mute. Let Schrodinger talk.
Please, guys.
Yeah, let him talk.
Okay, so I have driven a 40,000-ton warship up a channel that's 100 yards wide. Do you know what the margin of error is?
Negative something.
We're not just going into port or out of port. Why are you cutting me off?
Pete, hang on. Let him give him a chance.
Okay, you're not just going in or out of port. It's two-way traffic. So the margin of error is very small. We also do something called refueling at sea, where we are 100 feet abreast of another ship just as big as we are. Collisions at sea happen. So we're not driving a bus. The analogy would be driving a bus next to another bus that is 6 inches away from you. So yes, it's more complicated than what you're trying to dumb it down to. My whole point was that I have had to go back and look up things that just to make sure that I'm right before I go make a video or come on here and say something that's wrong. Has done the same thing. That does not mean that we're not professionals at our profession. It means that we're being intellectually honest. I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
Right, go for it, Pete. Get him.
Okay, thank you. So, Cliff, right, what you're after exemplifying my point, right? So, in other words, different sort of orientation conditions apply when you're coming into port or into contact with other closed vessels, right? Now, what I'm saying is, when you're looking over the ocean, when you're sailing from America to Europe, for instance, it's the easiest thing in the world to head for a general direction because you have all the hypotenuse to cater for.
Currents take you off. Currents will take you off course too, Pete.
Sure, but only to a minor level. When you're talking about coming in,
Major level, my friend. Major level.
But hang on, Sean. When you're coming into contact with other ships and you're maybe offloading stuff, you have to have very careful navigation. It's like threading a needle in a sense. It's like driving a car down a really narrow road. You have to be aware of the mechanism of the propulsion.
I'm fully aware of that.
And then you have to be aware of the circumstances. The same with a narrow channel. Simple as that. But exactly my point at the very start, you see, I'm wasting my time saying this because it's just going back to my very initial point. When you're heading for a target that you have a general idea where it is, you have all the time in the world to alter your course and correct your course.
Holy shit. Schrodinger's cat. How much leeway do those hoses give you guys?
Look at that, man.
Often, I was saying this just the other day, they become uncoupled sometimes.
Okay.
They have check valves in them.
So
it's pretty easy to reseat them. But that is, what we do when we come alongside something like that, we go into what's called restricted maneuvering doctrine, which means that every operating system in the engineering plant is online. In the case that we need to maneuver really fast.
Emergency breakaway, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm showing it on screen.
Yeah. How did you know that, Sean?
Yeah.
Because I just saw it. I was finding it. I saw it as he was talking about it.
Let me ask you a question, Sean. Hang
you
on.
should have said you studied it, Sean.
No, why? This is interesting.
Years, you know.
Well, wait a minute. If these guys are playing ultimate paintball, I'm going to bet on the guys with the big gun here.
Yeah. No. What we do.
That wasn't bad, Dean. That was a good
I
joke.
hate that my audio sucks so bad. I wish I want to go.
No, it's not you. Your audio is fine. It's them cutting you off. Guys, we got to relax.
Yeah, it's just everybody's is ridiculous.
Hang on, let me ask Cliff a question. Cliff, do you remember the first time we talked and I asked you the question about Earth's movement? Now, in all your trips on the ocean,
I thought we were just talking about ship handling.
Yeah. No, hang on, Pete. No, Pete, stop. Because you're changing the subject, and I'm trying to hear this, Pete. Stop, goddammit. Pete.
I didn't know there was a volume to it. I thought it was just a visual.
No, I'm trying to hear what Schrodinger's cat has to say, and you keep cutting him off.
So each and every time we come alongside another ship and couple like that, whether it's for fueling or for what we call it underway replenishment, where they send stores, food and shit along to us, each and every time we uncouple from them, we simulate an emergency breakaway. That way, in case we ever have to do it for real,
comes natural.
It's muscle memory.
Yep.
So go ahead.
I've got a question, Cliff.
Well, hang on.
Pete, stop.
Hang on, man.
No, because you're trying to change the subject, Pete, and I don't want that to happen. I'm trying to hear this.
No, it's not. It's the same topic, exactly the same topic, man.
Yeah, but Pete, you've been talking quite a bit. Let me just ask Cliff.
No, hang on, Dean. Let me get this in.
Jesus Christ.
I know you. Listen, Sean, let me get this in, right? A simple question, because it relates to the last discussion I had with Dean. With Cliff. The very first question I asked him, as he was sailing on all of his ventures on the ocean, did he notice that the Earth was moving in any way whatsoever? So as he's showing us his footage, does it depend on which way you were going? Do you notice any distinction between directions and how it relates to the Earth's movement as you understand it to be? That's my question. I'll go on mute now.
So your question was, when you're on a boat at sea, do you feel any movement?
Well, in an indirect way, because we have the jet stream and we have the Gulf Stream. So I have sailed in the northern and southern hemisphere, and yes, there is a difference between the jet stream and the Gulf Stream. So the answer to your question is yes.
Thank you, Cliff. And Sean laughed there. But don't forget, Sean, you're living on a ball that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. So when Cliff
you
at the
asked me a
He was
question.
laughing at how clumsy your question was, Pete.
Pete, I answered your question. Now, will you answer one for me?
When Cliff is at the equatorial sea, he's 1,000 miles an hour on the ball. When he's up at New York, he's at 500 miles an hour. Sean,
You're all over the place. You're all over the place. Gotta stop, man. You're
bouncing
around.
Trying to ask you a question, Pete.
Right. And it's just a quick one. When we talked, we had a nice conversation, and I didn't bash you and you didn't bash me, but you've been taking little tiny pot shots at me ever since. Have I done that to you?
Okay, silence here. That's okay, Cliff. I've been taking. In what sense have I been taking pot shots at you?
What's the name that you've been calling me since? And please
Beavis.
understand that
Beavis, I said that
not
I said
offended.
that to your
I'm
face at
just
the
drawing
time.
a distinction
Beavis.
between yes. Now,
Yeah,
what have I been calling you other than Pete?
But Cliff, I know you're acting your part, man. I'm not going to fucking fool you. And I was
For
on
Christ's
camera.
sake. Okay, I'm done with Pete.
Wait,
Let's move on.
Pete, because you assume he's playing a part, you think it's okay to use a name to demean him? I don't understand why you make that the thing.
Joke around, man. No one's going to take my sense of humor from me. Fuck you.
The little cry, Pete. Pete, the little cry babies.
Yeah, hey, guys,
They're
guys.
cry
Hey,
babies.
here's a better
We've
thing.
been abused, Sean. Please let me
No,
just say one
but
thing.
Nope. We're how about this? I don't care. I don't care. Pete and Children's Cat, you guys can do a hangout and talk about it. I don't care. Let's talk about some more stuff so I can learn more. Thank you.
Cliff, I've got a question about ships and stuff because
yes, sir.
You're also going at a rate of knots there, which I guess is about near the maximum speed or cruising speed of the replenishment vessel.
Yeah, we go 13 knots. That's our replenishment speed.
Yeah, and that's for stability, isn't it? Because the way that when someone's on about handling a vessel at low speed that is actually quite big, immediately the thing that comes to my mind is having a canoe on an ice ring with a little drive wheel at the back, and the only thing you can steer it with is this tiny little skate at the front.
Right.
Because the slower you go, you'll get the inertial kind of effect of it being kind of uncontrolled.
Yeah, the reason that we use 13 knots is because for your average ship of that size, that's when you're at your maximum maneuverability, balanced by your power ratio. So, it's the most efficient speed for ships of that size. That's why we use 13 knots. So if you go too slow, you lose what we call steerage way, which means that you can throw your rudder over and it's going to have no effect because your propeller isn't pushing enough water across the rudder. If you're going too fast, then you change the pivot point of the ship. So the faster you go, the farther forward your pivot point goes. So if you throw your rudder over, your stern is going to go into the other ship. Or if you throw your rudder over the other way, your bow is going to go into the other ship.
Yeah.
So it's basically the I wouldn't call it the best. It's the least bad.
The sweet spot. That's what I would call it.
Yeah, it's the least bad speed to use because underway replenishment it's a nail biter the whole time.
Yeah, and it's also quite a lucky number as well, right? That's
well, yeah, that's true. Now I don't know because I was never on something like a frigate. I wonder if they use a different speed. I just simply don't know. And that's another one of those things that, like I was just saying, that sometimes you got to go back and look shit up. I don't know what a frigate uses for replenishment speed.
Yeah, I mean, just to actually mirror that point, I can tell you right now, I'm walking around, I'm not next to a computer, that the refractive index of beer is 1.345. I remember it because it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but just leaving the 2 out. But I never knew what that was, but I knew what visual effect it would make. But now I can describe what happens and how that actually works at an atomic level now, which is wicked. I could never do that when I was using it day in, day out.
What Schrodinger's cat? What was your job actually on the ship? What did you actually do?
I was I started out as the conning officer, which means that I gave engine and rudder orders. So I would tell them what speed to go and what direction to go, and then I progressed later to the junior officer of the deck, which means that I was senior to the conning officer, but I worked directly for the officer of the deck, sort of as an apprentice. And then I progressed from there to the officer of the deck, which means that in the absence of the captain being on the ship, I was in charge of the ship's navigation, course, speed, the whole everything. So if the
have you ever used a sextant before? What's your name? He called you. What's it? What's your actual name?
Cliff.
Cliff, right? All right, Cliff. Have you actually used a sextant?
Yes.
And okay,
we actually
sorry,
use sextants not only to determine our latitude, which we did basically just as a backup, because you always want to verify your GPS systems and our gyroscope and everything, just for redundancy. But we would use
at what point
when we were on approach to our refueling ship, we would use the sextant to determine our distance to the refueling ship, and then verify that with a laser rangefinder.
All right. At what point would you actually stop? At what point does a sextant become useless in navigation?
At the hands of a flat earther.
In a cave.
Well, I don't know that it would ever be useless, because during the day you can use it to determine distances to objects. So if you have another ship,
but I mean by using stars. If you use the stars, for example.
Well, in the northern hemisphere, there's something like 50 odd stars that we can use to triangulate. So
yeah, but at what point would you stop using?
At what elevation? Yes, is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not. I didn't hear that. Say again.
Say again, Carlos.
What latitude I think is what he was asking.
No. Carlos, say again.
I think he's asking that if a certain star that you're trying to use is at a certain elevation, it no longer becomes reliable because it's being affected by the diffraction.
Oh, well, like I said, we have multiple stars. We have star maps that, when one goes below the horizon or is obscured by clouds or landmass or whatever, we would just switch to another, and we have the bearings that we should have to these stars. So no, it's never really. It's useless.
You would never use a sextant below 20 degrees above the horizon.
Why not?
Because exactly what Carlos told you, that it becomes unreliable because of what he said: refraction, diffraction, the whole lot, man. So you wouldn't actually use it. You wouldn't actually use it below 20 degrees.
It's not needed in shipping terms.
Yeah, I know, Pete. Listen, I know that it's so funny. They said a sextant proves the curve when it doesn't, because they don't use it below 20 degrees above the horizon.
So how come those 20? I'm sorry.
Let me ask Cliff quickly then. Cliff, how can you prove to yourself that the Earth itself is flat and the sky is contoured, as opposed to the other way around, which you hold is true, that the Earth is contoured and the sky is pretty much flat because everything's so far away?
Who told you the sky is flat?
Well, in terms of the distances given to even the nearest star, it's pretty much treated as a flat plane.
He's talking about the universe.
Okay, so when I look out,
I think he's talking about the universe.
Yeah.
Well, the sky, the stars, whatever you want to deem that.
We had an entire talk about this. Did you not listen when I gave you an entire presentation about how the distances at which we can see ships and how we see the mast headlight first and then the running lights at night?
I listened very carefully to you, Cliff, actually, and any sort of advancement would involve a deeper conversation, or deeper delving into deeper conversations between us, right, over many hours.
Okay.
He's asked you on a date.
Based on what you took on board from our last conversation, I'm not sure that further conversation would have much effect.
That's okay.
I don't say that to be mean.
That's okay. No, that's okay. You spent 22
questions that I've already answered.
No, you spent 22 years at sea, right? And all of your experience has told you that you've been sailing around a fucking ball where water curves to that ball all along. So all I can deem you, Cliff, is insane. Insane. That's the only word I can use.
Well, dang.
Because otherwise, water is flat, and you've been sailing on a flat surface, and the sky is contoured, and whatever is happening in relation to the sky is going.
That's a lot of assertions and not very much proof.
That's all.
A lot of assertions.
That's all I can deem you from my. Okay, let me include all I can deem you from my point of view, because it is actually insane.
I have to stick up. Wait a minute, Carlos. 1 second, Pete. I have to stick up for Cliff there because my cousin or my uncle, he's in the RAF. He was an engineer. He never flew the planes or nothing, but he doesn't buy the flat Earth either. Most people in the army wouldn't. It gives them that cognitive dissonance.
What's his reasons for not buying it?
Because he's never
fucking true.
Because
That's one thing.
Listen, Pete.
Oh, well, he knows. Big Bear is sticking up for Ali's cousin now,
Pete,
uncle, sister,
it's
brother.
uncle. Pete, but Pete, listen, I'll tell you the reason why. And you know the reason why is because we're indoctrinated from the ages of 0 to about 8-year-old. And we get globe, right? Also little triggers to react for all sorts of things, like vaccinations and all that kind of stuff. If you notice, they all seem to have the same effect on. Wait a minute, whoa, Brian, 1 second. You have to understand, Pete, or you must have noticed.
I know that well enough. Come on.
But you must have noticed the reaction of everything because you've been in 9/11. I've been in that as well. The flat Earth, vaccinations, the whole kit and caboodle, right? And the reaction is the same. It's irrational, right? So therefore, my conclusion is there must be a reason for it. They're indoctrinated. That's why they can't.
Ali B.
All
So
IB.
For the rest of the panel, did anything that I just said sound irrational or insane?
No,
that's an honest question.
Sounds very reasonable, Cliff.
No, you're denying. I'm talking about your denying. Actually, Cliff, you're very polite. I have to admit, I don't think I've ever really heard you. You've always been really.
Yeah, come on, Cliff. You've got to start
but
swearing.
hang on, as well as that, you have to remember that we're all individuals here, and there's about 7 people talking, and people don't know each other, where they're coming from. And if you're flat Earth side, you're sort of put on the flat Earth side. I don't agree with Ali on pretty much everything. Wait
a minute, guys. I've just realised something. Out of everybody on the panel, we've all got to say, "Oh, I love you, Ali B," and all this kind of stuff. Cliff is the only one that can actually now insult people.
Touche.
I got all of my cussing out while I was in the Navy.
Right, that's why he's so mellow. I was going to say, normally you say only kind words to everybody. Since it's opposite day, you could say really bad things to everybody and get away with it.
Cliff, let me ask you this, Cliff. What's the weirdest thing you ever saw or experienced on open ocean, and that you couldn't explain? You can't explain to this day. Just briefly, or you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
Your mom.
There must have been some experiences.
Oh Jesus. God, so many weird things have happened. Okay, nice. So here's one story. It's a little bit of a sad story, but it's the first one I thought of off the top of my head. Sorry, my dogs are going crazy in the background. So it's the night before we get back off of a 6-month deployment on USS Kearsarge, and we have so on that type of ship, that's an amphibious ship. So we're basically half Navy, half Marines, because we have a Marine expeditionary unit on board. And I guess there was a young Marine that was having some issues, and he basically didn't want to go home. So he goes out onto a weather deck and basically hangs himself. Well, at sea at night, we turn off all of our exterior lights. It's called darkened ship. And turns out that happened to be the weather deck where we kept one of our small boats. So a young man had to go out there and check the boat just as routine. So he goes out there and he bumps into something that's not supposed to be there. And because he's done this, for 6 months, he's like, what the fuck is this thing? It's not supposed to be here. And he starts, touching it, and he's like, holy shit, it's a human body. And so just off the top of my head, that's one of the craziest things that ever happened, because it's a tragedy the young man killed himself, and it's another tragedy that this other young man had to find his body. So yeah, that's one quick story. I have a million, but that's the first one that popped into my head.
Well, I guess that's a sad story, but that's not quite along the lines I was thinking of. I was thinking more in terms of, say, maybe visuals in the sky, occurrences in the sky. I've certainly experienced them
The
myself.
strangest thing I've ever seen at sea was a Carrot Top open for Wayne Newton.
Now, I've seen whales. I've seen sharks swimming along the side of our ships. Some of the biggest sea turtles you've ever seen. Do any of you know what bioluminescence is?
Oh yeah,
yeah, very much so.
That's pretty
I
cool
do.
to see.
Wow.
I've seen unexplained what we call pop flares. So a ship would shoot a flare up, and as a an emergency, and we would go there, and there's no fucking ship. I swear to God, one night I saw SOS over Morse code with lights on the horizon. We sailed over there. We put our small boat in the water. Nothing. But I swear to God, multiple of us saw SOS. It's long, short. Oh God, I can't even remember because it's been so many years. Long, long, short, short, long, long. I believe.
3, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay, that's what it
No,
was. Long, short, short,
too,
long,
too
long.
long,
Yeah.
3 short, too long.
Yeah.
Wrong.
So,
Three short, 3 long, 3 short.
That's not very strange. You haven't seen any. You haven't seen any triangular crafts. I've seen a fucking triangular craft here that I know was following me around as well. I've seen many other mysterious things, but I'm just thinking about all of your time at sea. I guess you maybe mightn't be inclined to look up at the sky too much. I don't know, but I'm just asking in that sense.
Oh, we constantly looked up at the sky when it's that dark outside. The stars you can see are amazing. If you ever want to go about 14, 15 miles offshore and just look up.
No.
Sure.
Nope. I'm good.
I didn't.
Can you not swim, Sean, or something?
Oh no, I just don't like being in a situation that I can't leave if I want.
Oh, you can leave.
I drove over to my sister's wedding, Sean.
I don't like sharks either.
I drove over to my sister's wedding in Italy from Ireland here, and obviously got a ferry in between Ireland and France, 24-hour ferry.
Wait a minute.
Somewhere in the middle of France, Cliff. That's exactly what I did.
Hey, Dean, why would you ask me, say, what, I can't swim? What was that meant? What are you in regards to?
I know where you're going.
Oh, no. Nobody went there, hopefully.
I'm fucking with Dean.
Might have told him, but he's a big Mickey.
Oh, Jesus.
But I was just saying, Sean, that somewhere in the middle of France, sleeping in my car, opened up the sunroof and looked up, and absolutely a different setting that would ever present itself to you under normal inverted commas circumstances. But that's what I was saying about sea, Dean, when you have, Cliff, when you have so many nights at sea, and then would you see something in the open that we wouldn't see? But yeah, can I just ask you this final question, like on that front? Did you ever experience sailing on anything other than a flat surface, flat water? Did you ever experience any other movement outside of the movement of the body that you were sitting on?
Word speak.
That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. I know the answer is going to be no, and he has to say no.
Word speak.
But if he says no, see, that puts him in a difficult
Words.
situation.
No, it is no, because water isn't flat, especially on the
You
ocean.
spent 22 years at sea, Sean. That's what I was asking Cliff.
But you,
Pete, the correct answer to what you said is yes, he has sailed on something besides flat water. He sailed on water that was on a globe.
and that would be my answer. But why would you think that I would
how do you know
this
that?
sensation?
We've all sailed on water, Cliff. That's what I'm saying. No matter the local setting, in a toy boat, in a local pond, or an international setting as a ferry. I took a 24-hour ferry. Everything was
Jesus
flat all
Christ,
the
Pete.
way. That's all. Come on, Sean. You're talking about progress. If we can't agree that this is what we all experience,
That word
Cliff
solid.
is no better man to be asking about this because he spent 22 years at sea. So if you're not going to disagree, just answer the question, I suppose. Let's hear your answer.
See, the thing is, Pete, is you you cite him. You say you've had 22 years experience at sea. You should respect what he says and go with what he says, but you don't.
So let's hear his answer then, Sean. I try to think the best of everybody. Let's
Pretty
hear
much
that.
know what his answer is going to be, but you won't accept that because it doesn't follow your narrative, Pete. It doesn't follow your narrative. So anything he says is false.
We could just let him
We're
answer.
not about the truth here and not about progressing, right?
That's actually
that's
the
a
best
great idea,
choice.
Dean. Schrodinger, all you.
Yeah, I experienced the curvature of the Earth at sea in the same way that you experienced your cholesterol number.
So not at all.
Do you have a cholesterol number?
I may have. I don't experience it though, bud.
If your cells aren't leaking, then yes, you're experiencing cholesterol.
If you say so.
Pete, do you know how the lipid bilayer works? Or do you believe that there exists a lipid bilayer on cells?
I'll be back in a minute.
So you want to get really deep.
Missing you already, Sean.
Do you know how light works? Do you know how matter? What is matter, Brian? What is matter?
That doesn't answer my question at all. Do
So
you
hang on.
understand? Do you understand
Pete,
what the lipid bilayer is?
Can matter work without mind? No, you're trying to get technical. You're trying
He's
to get
asking you a question, and you're telling him no to ask him one.
Because I'm asking you a direct question on the basis of you saying that you may or may not have a cholesterol number. Do you understand that not having a cholesterol number means that your cells would constantly be leaking?
So let me ask you, what does a cholesterol number mean? If I'm a certain cholesterol number, what does it actually mean about me and my being?
I'm not even sure what you're asking there. A cholesterol number.
You know what a cholesterol number is? I thought you mentioned it to me, actually.
I didn't mention cholesterol number. I didn't mention a cholesterol number. That was Schrodinger who mentioned that to you. You said you may not have one. I'm assuring you, you do.
Okay, so but you do know what a cholesterol number is.
Yeah, but what cholesterol are you talking about?
What's the cholesterol number mean if it's a component to my being?
As it compares to your being, I don't understand what you're asking. Are you saying how does it relate to your health? Are you asking what it does in your cell walls? What are you asking?
Yeah, but do you not hear, Brian? Are you a bit sort of
There's 1,000 ways to answer the question you're asking, Pete.
Right.
What do you mean and how it relates to
so I said a cholesterol number as a component to my being. Tell me what a cholesterol number is.
A cholesterol number is quite literally just a count per a certain amount that you have. We use in a scale to determine whether or not to determine the fluidity of your cell membranes and the amount that's available in your blood.
Okay.
Yeah, but he asked you what is cholesterol. He's asking you what is cholesterol.
Ali, he answered
What is
correctly. He answered
He didn't ask that question, Ali.
And which one?
He's right, Ali. He answered the question. So it's a scale, and we've
No,
determined.
cholesterol is not a scale. A cholesterol number is a value that we can read on a scale.
Yeah, the cholesterol number. Yeah, what exactly? It's
cholesterol level, Pete. It's called cholesterol level. It's not cholesterol curve.
The scale. So what's the benchmark? What's the 0 in terms of
nobody would have a 0.
So what's the basic flow rate that they've decided to be normal, and everything else is related against that?
Well, a normal is just an average to where your cells are allowing proper amounts of fluid through. They have as proper rigidity, and it's gonna vary depending upon your LDL, your HDL, and a number of other things.
Right, proper in relation to what? In relation to what you're doing, for instance, you'll have a different cell action if you were sitting down as opposed to if you were jogging, for instance. How do you judge?
You're starting to go way off kilter with this. What I would say is Pete, you're rabbit trailing down something unrelated. Yes, you are, because I assure you have a cholesterol number is all that I had to say about this.
So what's
I'm not going to run down this rabbit hole with you. Schrodinger, back to you.
Yeah, hey, Pete, calm down. Relax.
This guy just jumped into the conversation.
Pete, you're scaring him. Pete, you're scaring him.
Just relax, Pete.
Correct there, Ali.
He doesn't like to go down the rabbit holes. They don't like it, Pete. They don't like it.
Anyway, I've got all the cholesterols of anybody here, so we don't need to discuss this. I've got them all.
It's all landed in your fat, flabby arse, Steve.
Wasn't there a band called Pete? Wasn't there a band called Cholesterol Movement or something like
that? That's good, Ali. In the dark.
I've got another question for Cliff actually. If
in the dark, that's right. Yeah, sorry.
See you on speed, Ali. Honestly, I would. With
Go
a
ahead,
big
go ahead,
joy.
Dean. Go ahead, Dean.
Cliff, have you ever been? You were in a? Have you ever been in a battle group? Because you were on a support. Well, what could be classed as a support or escort vessel, weren't you?
Oh no. I was in. Well, when I was on USS Kearsarge, that's an amphibious ready group.
Oh right.
So
okay.
it's a combination of what's called an ARG, an amphibious ready group, and a MU, so a Marine Expeditionary Unit.
Did you operate as part of any kind of battle group with multiple vessels spread out over a large distance?
Yeah, that's what it is, an amphibious ready group. So it would be 3 amphibious ships, and then we would typically have a destroyer, a cruiser, and then a submarine. So that would make up our amphibious ready group.
Cool.
Back in the day when I was on aircraft carriers, so that would be a carrier group, which is basically
lots of shit, right?
All right, okay, sure, Cliff.
Sean, can you get a grip of these ballers, man? They're going to start talking about shopping and sewing and makeup.
No. I'm getting to my point now.
But just get to it. Come on,
so Schrodinger's.
Let me ask you a question.
Pete, stop. Pete, hey, Pete, give him a chance for a minute, please.
Pete,
let me know, Pete.
It's pick on Dean day today.
Well, yeah.
I would be happy to answer Dean's question.
It's true. No, what it is it's two very sane people demonstrating their sanity day.
Oh well, thank you. I'll thank you on behalf of myself and Pete. Thank you very much. But what about the rest of you? What about the rest of you?
Oh no, they're batshit crazy, but it is opposite day. So Schrodinger's.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so in the battle group, did you ever actually have to optically track other vessels and things? And do you think that the horizon plays a part in this? And have you ever seen parts of your battle group or other ships that you're tracking or meeting up with coming over the horizon? Because you have a lot of equipment and lookouts, don't you?
Yeah, we have lookouts, and yes, it was actually, I wouldn't say an everyday occurrence to see a ship coming over the horizon, but it's damn near every day, especially at night. We would use night vision goggles, and we could track these on radar prior to being able to visually see them because our antennas are way up on our mast. So you would see a ship, and pretty much right when you would expect to, especially with night vision goggles, you would see the mast headlight, and then later on you would see the port and starboard running lights.
I like it. Working with the curve day in day out. I like it.
Every day.
No further questions.
Oh, Dean, that was terrible, mate. That was.
Wait a minute, it's backwards day, Ali. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So
sod off for saying that. Sod off for saying that.
Right, Pete, come on, get into them. Wait, we need to get some flat Earth talk here, man. That's just shit. Come on.
Ali, please let me just reiterate my question to Cliff. Cliff, if you really found out that Barack Obama and Osama bin Laden were both played by Will Smith, how would you feel after 22 years of service to a certain organization or corporation? And Dean, also, have you had any progress in disproving my claim that Will Smith is Barack Obama?
Don't even bother answering that bullshit, guys. Come on.
Come on, Dean. Come on. Don't let it down,
Don't even.
See, use honestly, guys, use are old before your times. Look, I'm 54. I think Pete's about 40 odds or something like that. And use guys, you're grumpy buggers, man. So you has no sense of humour. You think every time we talk to you, we're out to get you or something like that, man.
Ali, it's backwards day, and you really did that well.
Sorry.
You really did that well.
Jesus, man. But come on, do you know you must admit that you guys are like, you have no what do you call it, zest in life or anything like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. what's wrong with yous? But most ballers don't. Yous are always moaning and groaning, and yous never have a laugh or any. Oh well, you do have a laugh when you talk about stupid things and that, which you do quite often about curves and stuff. But do you not think you guys should be a wee bit more optimistic? Is depression prevalent in the ball earth? Do you guys actually feel happy? Do you know when you wake up in the morning, right? When you wake up in the morning, I don't think
you're qualified to make a psychiatric diagnosis.
Oh well, actually, I am. Hey, listen, I've been doing this for 5 fucking years, and you go to school for an education for 5 fucking years. You get a diploma at the end of it. So don't talk shite. I've been in this for 5 fucking years. And I'm very well aware of all the archetypes. Psychology. Oi, dude, it's psychology, mate. It's nothing to do with fucking medical, because psychology is a pseudoscience. It's a load of shite, but it seems to work. So that's but listen. So I get what you're saying, Ali.
I get what you're saying, and the fact that you've been around and you get it. Because trust me, I know exactly what you're saying. But you can't compare yourself to someone who has a degree in doing it. I'm sorry, you just can't.
Why not? Why can I not?
Because there are methods and things that they are taught, rather than that you just learn in being in a situation. You need both, I think, to become a good one, a good psychologist.
Listen, Sean Miller, I'll tell you something. I practice neuro-linguistic programming all the time and psychology all the time. That's how I interact with people.
Wait. Is that the University of Life or at a university?
The University of Life. I've read it. I've studied it. Listen, here we go then, right? I've studied it, right? I've studied it to the point that I understand how the mind works and how you can be manipulated.
Can't do that.
And look,
they don't even know. No one knows exactly how the mind works. You can't say
listen, that. I've been given tools. Well, wait a minute. Well, these tools seem to work. This is the thing. These tools seem to work, and I use them in everyday life. How I communicate with people. If I want to get something that I want to get, I'll speak in a certain way, phrases, sounds, everything. So I'm actually qualified to read every single person that's in Flat Earth, because that's what I'm saying. On your side, you lot seem, it's like there's something missing in your lives, man. That's all I'm saying. And don't say I'm not qualified for it. Of course I am. I can talk to a psychologist. I have very deep conversations. I can have very deep conversations.
A deep conversation has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Didn't you say a little while ago?
But the point is that the fact is that technique has been used on you lot, and it gets used on you every day. And I've got a plethora of evidence to tell you. But of course, as that Russian KGB agent says, you can shove the information and the proof in these people's faces, and they won't, because they've been programmed from birth. And that's what I see.
Are there flat earthers that have done that are indoctrinated, quote unquote?
Oh yeah,
just
I've still have traits of my indoctrination. I know when it's happening, though. I'm aware of it, and so I can fight. I don't always beat the indoctrination. I still get cognitive dissonance as well, but I recognize it as cognitive dissonance. I feel it's like energy. It's all to do with energies that flow through your body, and how these chemicals are getting produced that make you feel in a certain way. I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah, but Ali, just really quickly, I would absolutely trust, even you could have read all the books, watched all the videos and everything. I would still trust Brian in this respect.
About what? But he's not a psychologist.
About anything medical.
He's never even studied it.
In medical science, I would trust Brian.
But look,
I'm a physician.
Yeah, there you go.
Say again?
I am a board licensed physician.
What's a physician? What's that got to do with psychology?
Psychiatry.
Well, a physician's not a psychiatrist.
You are incorrect. A psychiatrist is a type of physician.
And you're a psychiatrist?
I am not. I'm an internist. I deal with internal med. But I did do specifically in psychiatry.
How long have you studied it? All right, okay. Do you know what? All right,
longer than you actually.
All right, okay. Do you know what neuro-linguistic programming is then?
That is a branch of psychology. I deal with things in the mind which are diseases and pathology.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So you know absolutely nothing about it. You've just admitted you know absolutely nothing about it.
You
You're
weren't
telling
talking
me
about psychology earlier. You were diagnosing mental illness, which is psychiatry. If you can't tell
NLP.
the difference,
Yeah,
then you need to go get bent.
But the NLP is the basis to understand NLP and how easy the mind can be manipulated. I'm not talking about psychology. Doesn't look.
That's
most
very different from
psychologists.
diagnosing people with mental illness like you were doing. If you can't see that difference,
I'm
you're out
perfectly
of this world.
qualified, dude.
No, you're
I'm
not.
perfectly qualified.
You're not
Wait a minute.
qualified.
I'm perfectly qualified. I'm perfectly qualified to talk about it because I have
No.
studied it. I recognize it.
You said you learned it from the school of life. Therefore, you're not qualified. You cannot treat somebody legally.
But legally, legally, come on. But I could lawfully.
What?
Oh, he's going the whole sovereign citizen route.
Yeah, I don't think that's not going to fly.
There's no difference in those two words.
Whoa, stop that shit right now. I don't go with that free man shit. That caused so much fucking trouble. People don't understand. You guys don't. It's nothing to do with a sovereign citizen is still a citizen. A sovereign is different from a sovereign citizen. Right? And you guys jump on that sovereign citizen shit. And there is a difference between legal. There is a difference. Excuse me. There's another subject you know fuck all about. There is a difference between legal, and lawful. Look up what legal means.
I know, and I'm not saying you're doing disrespectful. Just relax, though. Just calm it down a little bit, please.
All right, I'm trying to get further away.
No. You're not even loud. You're not even loud. I can just tell you're getting passionate about it again. I just wanted to just take a deep breath and just relax.
I'm not angry.
No, I know. I know.
If you seen my face, you'd see me with a big smile on my face.
You're not. You're not. I don't think you're angry at all. I can just tell you're passionate and you want to get out what you want to say, but you're kind of over talking a little bit. It's not bad. It's just I'm just giving you a heads up.
Oh, I apologize. I'll apologize for that. But I just I've got something against people that don't even know what I've looked at, what I've studied, what I do every day, stuff.
And I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Hang on, Pete or Ali. I know what you're saying because I realized I said it when I said it to you. I get what you're saying, but say you and Brian are in front of a board, and they're asking you questions, you're not going to be able to answer it on the professional side of it. And well, you know what? I wouldn't, but that's why you would be there. But if they've got degrees in that study and they talk to you and you're not able to comprehend or be able to dictate what they're looking for, they're going to know obviously you don't have a degree yourself. That, and also here's the other thing: that degree is also a liability clause.
Yep, but the degree that you're getting is still in the indoctrination process. So the thing is that it's like learning to play the guitar. If you learn to play the guitar yourself, right, you're more free with your chords, more free with your notes. You're not restricted by, I can't mix that chord with that chord or that, right? And that's the difference between someone that's classically trained and someone that's not classically trained. There's more of a fluidity there's more breaking and bending of rules and getting away with it with someone that's a natural, someone that plays natural, than someone that plays in classical. Look, if anybody that's a musician will know that. You can tell the difference between classically trained guitarists or musicians.
That doesn't apply to science, though. That doesn't apply to science.
Right. If I need a heart transplant, would I go to a cardiothoracic surgeon or some dude that learned in his garage?
Go to the good doctor.
If you want to go across the ocean, are you going to sail with me or Pete Shea, who took a 24-hour ferry ride?
Heck no, I don't go with Pete Shea. Not even around the corner.
I suppose there's another aspect to this as well, which is there are some things which are very process orientated, and you, in a classical conditioning psychology sense, you could learn. Guitar and muscle memory is one of those things. Whereas something that requires a lot of like cognitive processing because it's multidimensional is not something that you could potentially learn, because you need foundation knowledge built upon other foundation knowledge, and it all composites together to create this, you know, the end result of being, you know, someone in a medical profession, someone in a scientific profession. It's not something that you can be at the same level at just by reading.
That's
well, it
absolutely
also
right.
goes back to me, you, Brian, and probably other people on the panel. It's not just what you know, it's that you know where to go to look when you don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
a major key to it, Schrodinger. It really is. I mean, you cannot you can't believe how much trouble you're going to have trying to understand a great deal of engineering if you don't get the correct training in a university setting. It's
Right? Yeah,
really
I have an
really
electrical engineering degree,
yeah.
and I have forgotten shit. I really have, because I haven't practiced in a while. But I know where to go look if I have forgotten something, or if it's something that I don't know, like exactly how a multiplexer works. I know where to go look if a multiplexer works. If you're just doing it on your own, you won't even know where to go look.
Yeah, you're a double E too, huh? Oh, you poor fellow. That's what I did.
Yeah. Well, I was an avionics tech. My first half of my Navy career, I was an avionics tech. So then I went to
More over on
the U.S. Navy was nice enough to pay for my bachelor's degrey.
Yeah,
what would you guys feel about war then? Do you think that when you went to whatever aspect of war you were in, did you never ever, after it was kind of all over, and did you never ever wonder, you know, why you did it? Or
That's
did
a
you,
broad
in fact,
topic. There's
did any
been
of
many
you guys
wars.
kill anybody? Have you actually killed someone? And was it traumatic?
That's
You
not a
don't
fucking
need to.
question.
You
That's
don't. You
not a
don't.
that's not a
Yeah, you
proper
don't need.
question.
Yeah, you
You
don't
don't
need to
ask
answer
that.
that.
We
No,
won't.
what's wrong? Hey, listen, if I'd been in the army and I'd
If you have no idea what people go through, what kind of trauma
Hey,
could
I'm
be
sorry, I've
processed,
got
and you claim
friends.
to
Hey,
understand
listen.
psychology and
I lived in
psychiatry,
a
fuck off.
community. Hey, listen, I worked in a naval base. I had friends that were in the army. I had friends that went to Ireland and get fucking shot.
Ali, no. I'm sorry, I was away from the computer. Otherwise, I would have stopped that sooner. You do not ask a Marine or any military service person about killing someone. It is disrespectful.
And I will not answer that question.
That's not right, Sean. My friends,
I've had friends.
about
I've also
it.
had friends that died there. Do you think I want people that overseas talking about how they killed my friend? No, I don't. Do not ask a Marine or anyone in the services if they've killed someone unless they are coming up front to tell you about a situation. It's just the way it is, man. You can't do that. And it's not. I'm
Yeah,
not
of course
pissed
you
at
can.
you.
Why
No,
not?
okay, but they've asked you not to, so stop.
No,
That's
he
what
never
we have
asked me not to.
Bad
I'm
form.
asking you not to, because
Oh,
that's what we
yeah.
have.
There you go. Pick an alley.
Can I
Pick an alley,
answer?
Dean. You've got a free pass. It's my turn to get picked on now.
Oh, wow.
No, you're not. No one's picking on you. I'm just letting you know. Don't do
I'm
that.
joking.
If anybody would have said that, I would have said that.
We have this place called the VFW, and that's where we go talk about those things.
Just so you guys know, I'm doing the 20-minute warning.
Yeah, but you've done it for your countries, guys.
And
Are you proud?
Hey, hang on.
Stop it, Alex.
Just know I'm going to do it's going to be 15 minutes, but it could end sooner. So guys, keep it civil. Everybody, not you, Ali. Everyone.
Another example of the knowledge training, you know, with kind of foundational knowledge is I used to come across 3D artists that could make objects and do terrain, you know, do environment modeling and do building modeling, all this kind of stuff. And we used to work on games, but I used to find a disparity between the ones that were taught really good foundation courses versus the ones that were self-taught. The ones that were self-taught, unless they were incredibly comprehensive and had some foundational knowledge, although they could model, let's say, a bin or a hot dog stand for a game, when I asked them what a vertex is in context to a DCC content creation package, they just say a point in 3D space. Now, when I walk up to someone that has foundational knowledge and say, what's a vertex? they'll say, oh, it's a point in 3D space, a unit directional normal. It's also an RGB color value for vertex shading. It also has U and V coordinates for texture placement. You know, they'll go on and on and on. And that's the difference. You have that foundational knowledge. So even though you might still be able to make a you know, like a dustbin or a hot dog stand, you don't really have full knowledge. There's gaps there. And that's why, you know, comprehensive education and foundation knowledge is incredibly important. Just my 2 cents. 2 pennies.
Yeah, that was all it was worth, Dean.
Cheers for
come
that,
on.
mate. Cheers for that, mate.
That was come on, that was funny. I mean, you just asked for that, you know. And you know, it was all fun. It was all fun. I'm just going to say good night, guys. No offense to anybody. If there's, you know, if anybody took offense to it, well, you know.
Yeah, no.
Get over it.
Get
over it. Get over it, guys. Get over it. You know what I mean? But Sean, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I love you, Ali, and you know everything there is to know about light. Love you. Bye bye.
I think Pete's gone, but I think Pete's gone. And all right, yeah. Anyway, good night.
See you later.
Yes. All right.
Oh, Jesus.
They have to try a lot harder than that to hurt my feelings.
I just don't get where. So here's the thing: he may know more gross things about psychology than I do, but that does not qualify him to diagnose. Sorry, I got a little bit overboard there.
No, you're right.
I understand, because, you know, I've known people who, you know, they show up in an ER and, you know, they have an ER doc there that's probably not able to diagnose them, but is able to look at them and be like, yeah, I need to kick you upstairs, you know, get somebody else to look at you. So, yeah, there's a continuum of knowledge, because that doc upstairs, that's the psychologist, can't come down there and stitch somebody up like you can.
I actually think we saw a really good example of this in the chat, guys. So Ali mentions light extinction. Now, logically, we could probably come to the conclusion just by the meaning of words of what that might mean. But to him, he's read this term somewhere that is not a common reference. But, you know, I've had to deal with photon tracing inside a material that has a scatter coefficient and absorption coefficients of how much that inside geometry is going to get illuminated. So for something like subsurface scatter under the skin and how that illuminates, I've had to, you know, synthetically create that on characters and things. That's just standard to me, but that's the foundational knowledge of what it actually is. Whereas someone that reads a term and then just thinks light extinction is light dispersing over distance or something, whereas the foundational knowledge says, well, we have a photon, we have energy, we have a scatter coefficients and absorption coefficients, and they dictate how light reacts inside a surface and the energy that it's got to distribute over the length that it travels. So that's clear-cut difference there.
But chances are he sort of alluded to it near the end. They're talking about light just stops coming to us. It just has a life. It goes extinct. That's what he was talking about.
Well, that's not what extinction coefficient's about.
Right.
It's the absorption of a particular wavelength of light through a gas, as I recall.
Or any the scatter coefficient. Any dense medium that does anything to light.
Right.
I did get a kick out of driving a ship is like driving a bus. That was adorable.
Big old wet bus.
I actually was going to bring up the Titanic in an iceberg, but then I remembered he probably thinks that it was sunk by the Illuminati.
More than likely.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. I enjoyed this anyway. I thought it was funny. I like Opposite Day, and I like the 1 minute fucking let's just call everybody names, get it out of the way.
We gotta. That's gotta become an institutional 1 minute.
It has, hasn't it? Yeah. I'm coming after you, Carlos. I tell you. No, he's gone, hasn't he? Yeah, bollocks. I am so going after Carlos.
That was before I got on. Right before I got on, and I had the speakers on instead of my headphones. And my wife came all the way from the other end of the house to ask me what the hell was happening in here.
Nice.
She thought I was in a fight with somebody. I said, no, I'm just laughing at these fucking idiots. Listen to this.
I kept muted the whole time. I just listened. It was funny.
Yeah, but Sean, you normally do that when that's not that 1 minute fucking thing. You do that
But
outside
no,
of that minute.
no. But the thing is I don't get personal.
Guys, we got a message from Ali in the chat. It says, "I made up light extinction. I just made it up so to get everyone to talk about it." So
how did he make? He didn't make it up because it's actually a real term. It's just not the. It's not the
Well, to be fair, light
thing.
extinction is a made-up term. He meant atmospheric extinction if he's honest.
It actually isn't. Like there is such a thing as a light extinction coefficient.
A coefficient, yes, but the term light extinction in and of itself would be atmospheric extinction.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Did y'all see my sort of miniature
So that I was
debate
right.
with Mind of Manny the other day?
Correct.
Where he calls me an idiot and then a moron throughout the course of the thing, and then just he had nothing.
Was this the same day that he was completely unprepared for to debate Captain Cook with you?
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But he came on because I said, okay, he wants to come on. I said, I'll embarrass him if he wants, but I don't really want to. And then when he comes on late, by the way, he says, really? Are you this stupid? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm this stupid. Let's go. And I have 5 different references and he has nothing except just saying that my references are fake, I guess, is what he was saying.
And he also calls Walmart coffee.
Oh, yeah. And then he has Walmart coffee. And then he calls me a moron towards the end of it after it's pretty clear that he showed up with nothing. It was, I just clipped some of that up and put it on my channel. I've already got over 100 views. So that's nice, especially for as small as my channel is.
Yeah, he is a piece of work.
Man, he's in an empty suit just like a whole bunch of the other ones.
And he's so confident.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Often
Blue,
wrong, but never in doubt.
The seasons was beautiful the other night.
Huh?
You explaining the seasons to him the other night on that post show was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. Well,
it's sort of like the guy that told you, Big Blue, the other day that was a quantum eraser that said that he's forgotten more about science than you know.
Yeah.
And I almost fell out of my chair.
I had muted my mic at that point. I was laughing too hard to even say anything.
Blue, you've actually gotten a lot of hate from flat earthers recently, and it's been brilliant. You had Earth is Seriously Flat tell you how to fly a plane.
Yeah.
You had whatever the hell Allie did today.
I don't know what Allie did. Who knows?
Yeah, Manny. I mean, you've been catching it, man.
Yeah, Manny's been all over me. Oh, they don't. Quantum Eraser called me illiterate hillbilly or something.
Yeah, illiterate hillbilly. The thing with people like Big Blue and I
you're not
is
from the
that
Blue Smoky Mountains.
Southern accents, so
hill folk.
Actually, I was born a redneck, but I was born a redneck, Alabama redneck, but I moved to Tennessee 30 years ago. So
the guy from Rakely, Roy.
Now I live in the hills. I've got dual citizenship. I'm both a hillbilly and a redneck.
I grew up in the Ozarks mainly.
Oh, did you really?
I'm just a redneck.
Southeast Missouri, south central Missouri, around Springfield, that area.
All right, right on. I'm actually in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, right on. Yeah, neighbors. I'm in California now, but yeah, I grew up in that area.
I spent a lot of time in Springfield.
Beautiful area. Springfield's a shithole, but the surrounding area is gorgeous.
Springfield's not all that bad.
Well, they've got Grizzly and Bass Pro. That's about the best goddamn town in the world for that. Yeah.
Sean, are you and Brian quite close to each other then?
No.
We would have grown up in close to the same area.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the weirdest thing is, Farmers that comes on here.
Yeah.
So we got chatting, and it got to I mentioned Silverstone, and he says, "Oh, I live in Silverstone." So Silverstone is well known for the F1 circuit, and I'm there like, "Yeah, Silverstone's only like 10 miles from me." And then I mentioned the supermarket. We both shop at the same supermarket. How weird is that?
You two have obviously met each other, just don't know it.
probably.
Now I grew up in the Mountain Grove and Walnut Grove area around Willard and that area. I didn't really make it into Springfield until I grew up. So.
Oh, right on. It hasn't changed much. It's gotten a little bit nicer. Somebody did some sort of weird reconstructing thing.
Yeah, Springfield, they put in that huge that like bypass or whatever, that huge like arching bypass down near Prime is where I used to work.
Blue, I've got a question because people keep asking about gas pressure. You were the one that did the gas pressure without a container, didn't you?
Yeah.
Have you ever used the example of, have you ever been in an aeroplane, look outside at the wing? Because wouldn't that demonstrate high and low pressure next to each other without a container?
Well, it actually does, but I've heard that analogy used before.
Yeah, I use it.
But the flat earthers just go berserk when you say it. So.
Oh yeah.
And initially, the first thing they would say is, "Yeah, but it mixes back together on the other side of the wing."
Right.
It's too deep of a concept for them to really wrap their minds around.
Well, Quantum Eraser, Nathan Oakley, and what's her name that's on there all the time.
I'm sorry.
They went and did one of their shows, and they shut their mouths off, and they came up with that gas pressure, and the container better be a sealed container, and that was Quantum Eraser's exact words, and he said it. And not only said it, he put it up on the screen. He read it. Nathan Oakley said it again. What's her name said it after that, and I was just playing a game with them. Okay, you telling me a container has to be a sealed container? I'll show you gas pressure in a container that's not sealed.
Yeah,
and that really, and they went all fucking crazy about it, and did a big old debunk on me, and what a stupid shit I am. Then I came out with the next video that and I shoved their words right up their ass, and they also said it wouldn't stay pressurized more than 10 minutes or something like that. 15 minutes. I left the fucker sitting there for 4 hours. Pressure never changed.
Nice. They talk about you can't show a vacuum next to not something else. So well, yeah, you can.
I agree with them.
A harlequin shrimp, when it cracks its shell, it hits it so hard it cavitates the water.
Oh yeah, the mantis shrimp.
Yeah, the mantis shrimp. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it creates a cavity. It cavitates, so it creates a micro vacuum.
Yeah, what I did one day was just to be
a vacuum in nature. What?
Yeah, just to be a dick one day, I took my air compressor and my shop vac and put them out on my patio, and took a picture of them side by side and said, "There's your vacuum next to next to pressure," just because that's their level of understanding. So just to be a dick, I did that.
I got that picture on my phone.
Yeah, they just get all butt hurt when you
I
show
like
them how wrong they are.
Anthony Riley reads half of a definition and stops right at the critical word and then claims victory.
Oh, was anybody else in that chat earlier? I know Dean was.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, what were you there when I had to do the moon for him? The model of the moon.
I'm not sure if I was on or if I was just listening, but I was there either way.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Anthony Riley pulled up the definition of pressure, and as he was reading it, he said it is a force, and then didn't read the next 3 words, which were over an area, over a unit of area.
Yeah.
So he was trying to claim that because
I asked him about miles per hour.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, miles per gallon.
Yeah, gallon.
Miles per gallon.
Miles per gallon.
Oh
yeah, that was really good.
Miles per gallon.
I'm gonna use that one.
Yeah.
That was some of my finest work.
Well, I'm gonna steal it. I'm sorry.
I'll show you guys. I'll just present, and I'll show you guys what I had to do to this model, because I'm trying to include everybody's vision. So this. Oh, and I put clouds on my shadows as well, by the way. Sorry, I put shadows under my clouds just to make it look nicer. So what I've done to this now, am I screen sharing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I've had to come up here, and I said I've actually put in the the 27-day lunar cycle thing that I've got to oscillate the whole orbits with at the moment. But this moon over here, I did actually point out that if I'm in the Falkland Isles, you know, I see a different moon and a different side to the moon as well. I see, you know, I see, let's just add a bit of ambience to this. I see a completely different side to the moon that we never see, you know, in the Falkland Islands, but over here I would see what we normally see. So I said, this is a problem. And one of Anthony's arguments was that, I modeled it as a sphere. It's not a sphere.
Can you
It's
make it
not
concave?
yeah. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, of course I can, Anthony. And there we go. Now we've got a bit of a problem because this bowl now looks completely different to what it should be.
Yeah.
So it's just some wicked stuff. But I am wanting to include every idea, no matter how much it just really won't work.
Well, I got one for you.
Uh-oh.
Here's what I'd like to see. When the moon finally rolls around there and catches up with the sun, can you make them both explode?
Yes, that I can do.
Hit each other.
I think that would be beautiful.
Just hit each other and then just drop.
Just hit each other, explode, and just fall down on top of it.
One of my first questions.
Let the sun go in the sea and have a big plume of steam come up.
One of my first questions when I discovered flat Earth, when they said that the sun and the moon were just flat discs, I'm wondering, well, why don't they look like footballs as they're setting? Because why they wouldn't they?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And then Riley said after the concave thing that, oh, well, they're not even real bodies, so I don't know why we're doing this.
Hey guys,
did I miss that bit?
I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I'll keep this open for a little bit. To let you guys finish your conversation, and then I'll be back after I finish my outro.
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right, guys. So in a nutshell, let me. That'll probably make it easier, so that way I can actually talk and not hear them. Again, like I said, it's one of those things that I wanted to make clear and show that it obviously happens, I guess you would say. When we're talking about this whole progression of flat Earth, whether it be defending your point or attacking a point, you do need to understand what's being said. You need to, at the very least, be willing to just stop and listen. One thing I've learned over my years is that over talking, rambling are signs of more of a lack of confidence in what you're saying. Someone who feels confident in what they're saying is going to give you very precise details, explanations, so you're able to picture it the way they do. That's an issue that we have with quote unquote progression of flat Earth. Whether it be the progression being for the globe where it's, dwindling down, or it's flat Earth and they believe it's rising in its knowledge or popularity. One of the big things that I wanted to make clear with my stream in general is that I want to understand. I want to understand what you believe as a flat Earth, and I want to understand what is going on in our globe, with our globe. So to me, I like to stop things from being said, or not stop things from being said, but stop a conversation from being completed without understanding what they're saying. When it came to, Dean discussing his model and everything, or if it was something else, I just never heard or I don't understand. But regardless, it matters. Understanding matters, whether it be understanding terms, understanding the conversation, understanding the field that we're talking about, etc., etc., etc. When it comes to Mind of God, that probably was one of the most dick moves I've ever experienced here on YouTube. To hold to lend my panel to you at times, to not censor you, to not disrespect or talk about someone's mental, like all these things, mind of God, I've done out of how I just am. Whether you have to act respectful when you're here or it just happens, that's on you. But disrespecting me isn't going to get you a place to be able to give your information out or what you believe to be perceived out at all. Like that's not what my platform's here for. No one runs over me and then acts like it didn't happen. If you got issues with me, don't come here. Definitely don't jump on my panel unless we're debating and it's clear where you stand. But the one thing I don't like is someone acting as if things are cool, when in reality they're just acting. How do you blame the government, the quote-unquote globe lie, because they're fake if you're fake yourself?